You better hope you don't miss, because if you do, I'm gonna be coming right at you, and you're
He was about to say, I'm gonna come right to your house, and we're gonna play Toad Star 300 for 24 hours.
Y'all are reminding me of my what I went through last night watching all of Castlevania Nocturne.
Oh my gosh, you too?
Yeah. But it's because the voice actors show up from the original show, but they're just playing different people.
I kind of forgot.
You can totally recognize them.
I bet Snake, you haven't seen it yet, right?
Not yet, no.
Okay,
I didn't even know it was out until yesterday, and I don't have Netflix currently, so.
Yeah, my brother was like,
choice.
"It's out," and I'm like, "Shit."
Well, I was counting down the days. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But then I was a bit sad because I was watching it and I was like, wait a minute, this feels like different. And then sure enough, I Googled it and the writer is completely different. I'm like, oh,
really?
That's why it
I
feels
didn't know
so
about that,
different.
actually.
Yeah. There were several parts where I was like, I feel like the writer wouldn't have like made that like obvious writing mistake. And then I'm like, oh, damn it.
With that being said, though, I still thought it was super good.
It was very enjoyable. There's just a couple of cringe moments, like two of the characters are randomly just in love, and I was like, what the fuck? Then that happens several times, actually. There's a couple of characters that fall in love randomly, and you're like, what the fuck?
I did like, you know what, I don't want to get too much into spoilers.
Yeah.
I felt like this show was one of those things where it's like, there are some nitpicky things that happen, and there are some things I'm just like, okay, pacing-wise, maybe this could have been better, but at the same time, it's just like, the good things that the show does are like, so good and so like you don't see in other media that I'm just like, hell yeah, like I appreciate like what they do. That's good in this one, basically.
You and I can have a spoiler discussion without Snake sometime.
I'm sure Snake loves Castlevania. He's gonna watch it eventually.
Yeah. Did we actually talk about the old stuff on the podcast at any point?
Not really, actually. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, you liked that a lot, right, Snake? The old Castlevania show.
Yeah. So once I've seen Nocturne, we could just do like an episode where we just focus on that, the whole show.
Yeah, sure, totally. Okay,
Yeah,
I found the funny video.
If we discussed Nocturne, if we discussed the original Castlevania on this show, all you would have heard is me going, peak! Peak! That's how good it is to me. I think it's like peak, like television, but you know, that's just
before all the other video game medias that have been coming out, literally all I said was like Arcane
Capcom is killing
and
it, man.
Castlevania are like the goats of like video game adaptation.
And there's a Devil May Cry one coming too. There's a Devil May Cry one by the same team.
You seen the look for Dante in that, where they're like mashing up different designs, and I'm like,
I noticed that until the tweet. I've seen people mention like, so which version of Dante is this? Yes.
I am a bit sad that he's not shirtless because I just miss like
heartthrob I was like, is this Devil May Cry 3 Dante? Is this gonna take place in the past? Because that's when technically the story starts. Because he's not shirtless. So I was like,
it would make sense for them to adapt 3 just because like that's the one where he fights Virgil.
Well, that's also kind of the starting point in the games, right? Technically speaking.
Yeah, that's the first one in the timeline. So it makes sense to adapt that. But since they're clearly taking some cues from the reboot, like his white shirt is very reminiscent of his wife beater. And he's got and the amulet is like 1-to-1 the one from the reboot. So like, which is obviously just like an art thing for the animation.
Oh wow, you have that?
Yeah, because it's a simpler design.
That's sick.
So like, objectively best Dante.
So when he's wearing that, it's just easy to draw for the animators, which makes sense. So I can see why they don't go something like the somewhat over-designed DMC4 design, even though that's my personal favorite. So I get it, but. I didn't like Dante's design in 5. I thought it looked too simple.
Well, he's an old guy in 5, so that's like
he looks even more homeless in the anime though, because he's wearing like a white undershirt. Doesn't even go with his like red coat. It's just a white ass undershirt, and I'm like, huh. But I mean, I like his face though. It looks very sinister, which I like because he is like half demon, and he's like kind of sadistic. So I like him having like a little evil kind of grin when he's looking at the camera and shit. I'm like, yeah, cool.
I'll be honest. All we see him do is a flip and look at the camera, and then that's it. I don't think that's enough to judge for me, in my opinion.
No strawberry sundae or milkshake. I mean, 0 out of 10. He's got to drink a strawberry milkshake like in the other anime.
Oh, but yeah, I don't know. I don't, and I also don't really, honestly, don't care too much how he looks as long as the show is good, because Oh, and I found the funny clip. So there was that one part where Katana kisses Liu Kang and he does the fatality, right? Here's the alternate ending to that one. Oh no, I mean here's the other version, which I got a really good laugh out of me too.
Oh no! I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna post that to fucking my friend's chat. They'll laugh their ass off at that.
I've seen
Jackpot.
I've actually seen a similar thing to that, but it's the other way around where it's like it's the reveal at the end where they fucked and then it's like, haha, it was me.
Oh.
It was
oh my
me,
god,
Barry.
could you? Oh my god,
but
God,
it's
so
not
like,
gay, Liu Kang, because I was a woman at the time, so it's not gay for me, but for you.
absolute,
That's a very
The
interesting way of
semantics.
looking at it.
the semantics. No,
Like,
imagine
it's
how
like-
crazy it would
oh,
fucking be.
That's Shang Tsung's ultimate ploy, because it's like he saw that Kung Jin getting like rejected by the Shaolin in different timelines, and he's like, haha, I will trick Liu Kang into doing a gay thing, so they'll kick him out too. And it's like Earthrealm is doomed because the monks think Liu Kang is gay.
Oh no!
This is going into a very interesting direction.
But I was gonna say, you know, the good ending to MK11, which is still my favorite. Like when you don't lose at all, when he takes like Katana's hand and they rebuild the universe together. Imagine like she just like slightly grins, and it's implied that's Shang Tsung. He's like, damn, I picked the right time to turn into Katana. I get to live forever, and I get to remake the timeline.
Oh my gosh.
See, with that ending, I like, on the one hand, I like to imagine that that's the version of Katana that shows up in this story. But
Yeah, but-
that means either that Liu Kang who won perfectly died, or she's cheating on him with this other version.
Okay,
So-
wait. I wanna get more in depth with this discussion because I think we can get into the episode with that too. Because I thought I had it clear. I thought for sure that was the Katana and that was the human Raiden that we see. But after I've gone through the story mode like 3 times at this point. But after doing that, I am now completely clueless. I really am
It's
starting to get
intentionally
like.
vague. They're doing
Yeah.
the old school writing trick of making it so vague that you don't know for sure, and therefore like you can't even get mad because you're like, I don't know. Like, what's going on?
Well, I think that other Raiden, unless something happened that made him regain his godhood, that's not the human Raiden. That's a god Raiden who beat. He mentions in my battle with Kronika. So that's a version of
Yes.
Raiden who fought Kronika and won.
All
They just
4
wanted to
of
bring
those
back
are
the original
technically
Raiden as
speaking.
like original as in like the concept of that Raiden, you know.
See, I think it would have been really neat if what they'd done instead was if it was like you only get the Shang Tsung reveal in this game, but then later on you get the reveal of there are other timelines. Katana shows up from the best ending from MK11, and that's in game 2. Then game 3 is basically you meant to have picked up on the fact that wait, if it's not just aftermath endings, if base game endings happen, doesn't that mean there's a Kronika who won? And then at the end, it's like four of them, 4 titans clashing, where it's Liu Kang and Katana against Shang Tsung versus Kronika.
I was thinking about that, and I was like, I think the story mode implies that every single different timeline's Titan versions of those characters all became Titans because they defeated Kronika in their own universes.
Yeah, even characters who
Yeah.
didn't have an opportunity to fight Kronika because they weren't in MK11 story. Like Quan Chi was dead at the time, but he's the character's most part of the good faction. When you look at everyone, there are more Quan Chi, there are more of him than anyone else.
So many white faces just in the crowd of people.
I didn't even notice that. It's super funny.
You see him with a bunch of the Gearus alt skin that has like the white hoodie on it. Because of that, it makes like a giant like shape of like white in the middle. Because of that.
He's Moses. He's just right there in the middle.
And then you
like,
have to consider all this other stuff, like the fact that was every Titan reptile like the human shape-shifting version like we see that
Exactly,
Liu Kang
yes.
created?
I
Or,
said the same thing too.
The Scorpions, are they all Kuai Liang? Was every Sub-Zero Bihan, meaning that there's no Noob Saibot who beat Kronika? It's like in order for him to have a chance against Kronika, he has to revert to Sub-Zero at some point. Then he gets a shot. Like it doesn't quite work the way it's
see.
set up.
You see, when Noob Saibot defeats Kronika, all the godly and titan energy goes into him and cleanses him and turns him back into Bihan. That's why you don't see any Noob Saibot in the crowd. Snake, come on! I thought you were a fan. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay,
What's also
so
funny
it
to me, the biggest plot hole.
him.
Wait, the
Okay,
biggest
okay,
plot
fine,
hole
go.
to me, real quick. Shang Tsung mentions the reason the split happened at all is because him and Liu Kang were just like way too OP, and them battling over the hourglass like caused a split or a fracture or something. And I'm like,
I think so.
okay, so how is this final battle with like literally 200 titans fighting each other not causing a million more fractions and just fucking up everything? Because it's way more epic than just the two guys fighting.
Maybe that's supposed to be the idea. I think it honestly would have just worked better if instead of being this big massive thing like that, if it was there are two titans, that's it. And then everyone else is just the good and evil versions from the two respective timelines, and that's it.
The issue, because I watched your gameplay, TrueUnderDawg, and you also mentioned this. You're like, wait, hang on. If they're all Titans here, why aren't they going like Super Saiyan OP destruction, planet destroying levels of power levels instead of just like Ninja Mind Johnny fighting you and stuff like that?
That's one of the things is like you think about this, the fact that so when you because you have two ways it can go and neither one is ideal. One option is you make it that when you play a Scorpion, you'll be given a Titan Scorpion that we've never seen before. He'll just show up and be the new hero, even though he's only shown up for this one scene, and he's going to be the one to kill Shang Tsung, right?
Yeah.
But that means that it's like Injustice Superman showing up, where like the good Superman shows up at the end, having not been a part of the story at all until now, and suddenly he's comes in and saves the day. So everyone else's struggles were pointless. Alternatively, the way it is in the game, we have our Scorpion, the one we followed in the story. He gets to step up, be the hero, do all that stuff. Nice. How can he go toe to toe with Titans?
It really is these two parts of the issue. It's like you either have someone who's not been in a story and is overpowered as heck, and we technically shouldn't care, but it really is just like that. I kind of see, and then the second one is like you said, how the heck can he go toe to toe with the Titan? I really see that as like a fan fiction section. Like, I'm playing Sonic Forces, my OC is winning this story, yay, kind of situation. So because of that, I wanted to save this for my own video. You know what? If people watch the podcast, you guys will see this eventually, and my sucks video will be talked about anyways.
I said in my latest video, wow, I guess I need to make a dedicated video on M1K because nobody watches the podcast, but we talked about it for 3 hours. Quite a few people did say, I watched the podcast, it was good. So
based, you guys are
based,
based,
those of
guys.
you who watched both that video and the podcast, you're the real heroes.
So in that case, I think there are two characters who actually are pretty good to be picked for like a lore accuracy reasonings, and one of them is like, well, I was actually Raiden. Sure, maybe because he's still mortal Raiden technically speaking. Geras is because technically speaking he's powerful enough, and also like he doesn't have a chapter in the entire game, so I think that would be a good place to put it. The other character I would think that would be a great pick is Shang Tsung, like because out of all the villains, if you pick any villain, they're alternate universe versions, but Shang isn't. Shang is the base version of him, and so I think thematically speaking, it would be a very interesting way where it's like, okay, we need to beat the big bad of this entire universe, and it was ironically the one who started it all, like the Shang Tsung who started this entire like journey and stuff like that. I had to use him. I needed his help to defeat this Shang Tsung.
That's perfect. Do you know why? Think about it. What does Kronika call herself?
Damashi.
Where's that from?
Deception.
Yeah, deception, in which Onaga, as Damashi, empowered Shujinko as part of his evil plan, and it backfired because Shujinko then used that power to kill him. And so,
I like that.
A new parallel to the old canon, because this game is drawing parallels to Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon. It's you are fighting the Deadly Alliance in Armageddon. So where's that middle piece? Deception, because Damashi gave Shang Tsung powers, which he now uses to topple him.
That is a very great way of looking at it, honestly. That really is why I think, despite the fact that I think Geras is one of the better good guy looks at that ending situation, or Raiden if you're willing to go with the main OC situation, Shang Tsung really just feels ironic, but in a really good way for him to win, for him to be the one who actually helps Liu Kang at the end, the one who actually topples the Titan Shang Tsung's plan. Yeah, I do like that headcanon more.
Also, what Shang Tsung says, I had to Google the word because it's one of those words where you kind of know what it means, but you have to Google it. If you win with Shang Tsung, he refers to Liu Kang as magnanimous.
Yeah, magnanimous.
And I'm like,
that's right.
oh, so I Googled that, and it means forgiving in like a very profound way. So he's saying like, wow, Liu Kang, the fact that you're complimenting me is like really incredible that you're just like able to forgive me like that, kind of is what he's saying. Or like even just to compliment me when I'm clearly evil and I did one good thing, and you're like, and they said I was the chosen one, and he's like, you are magnanimous, Liu Kang.
Interesting, yeah.
It is funny when you take his ending into account, where he's just like, I have found Shang Tsung's island trademark. I'm going to do magic now.
To be fair, though, it's like right afterwards, Shang, Shao, and all the other villains get locked up. So it's like, thank you for saving us. Jail time. In fact, even in some of the intro dialogues, you can even see like Katana or something like be like, Shang Tsung's execution will be done by Outworld's hands, not by you, Baraka, if you want to be an executioner or something like that. So they were gonna execute Shang Tsung already.
To be fair, you don't get absolved just because you do one good thing. No.
Excuse me, Sasuke was a war criminal, but was all forgiven because he saved the world. Okay.
Oh, yeah, not just him. Also, the older brother was like forgiven too. It's really stupid.
Well, he died, so it doesn't matter really. Right.
Orochimaru also got forgiven. He's just in a restaurant, just walking around.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's why the trope of redemption equals death is so common. It's because it allows a character to be redeemed, but without having to address the fact that they shouldn't be redeemed. They're a terrible person. These other people who forgive them shouldn't be forgiving them so easily. But if the character dies, then you don't have to deal with that. That's why it's so common. Like, Darth Vader killed a lot of people, including children. So, and like, if he was just going around like, you killed so many of my family, you hunted down all these Jedi, you're a monster, but he dies. So it's easy to overlook that because he paid the ultimate cost. So it feels like it's more of a redemption, and you don't have to address that stuff.
It is actually a very easy way of doing that in storytelling, just kill off the character as a redemption. Or at least they do something to redeem themselves, Have we been recording?
I've been recording,
Okay. Just
I have a funny joke real quick. So,
okay, that's good.
Assuming that pyramid at the end of story mode is just like nigh indestructible, in the same way that like the rocks in Dragon Ball Super for the Tournament of Power are said to be like absurdly durable. That's why like the writer can get away with the explosions and the damage to the environment being the exact same as the very start of Dragon Ball Z. Like, oh no, it's because they're way denser, so it's actually way more powerful, but like it looks the same. That begs the question, if Superman fought Superman, and I'm implying that's what it'd be like if the Titans fought each other. Yeah, if they both fought each other and there was nothing around that they could break with their punches and shockwaves alone, would it just look like two normal people fighting because they're all like the same speed and the same strength? So would it just be like a regular boxing match?
That's an interesting way of looking at it, because they're all so damn powerful, so might as well just, okay, we're going to fight normally now.
I think all it would be is one would punch the other, they go flying, and then they stop themselves with their own power. So it's like two dudes fighting in space, but you can stop yourself when you go flying and then like launch yourself forward. That's all it functionally is.
You're giving me PTSD from an argument that got way too intense with me and a random friend online where he brought up like Saitama could defeat Superman. And I'm like, I don't think he could, but there are fictional characters who can definitely beat Superman. Because I was like, well, because if he really wanted to win, he would just throw Saitama into space, and there's nothing he can do because he just keep floating in that direction, and he can't breathe in space. Like, we know that. And he went, no, he totally punches in space and flies around. And I'm like, but there's nothing to punch against. And he's like, yeah, but he does. I'm like, I know, but on Earth that makes sense because you can imply they're punching the air and like equal and opposite reaction physics, right? But he's in space, which is given that name because there's negative, like there's nothing, so he can't even punch against anything in space. He would just spin if he punched in a certain direction.
His punch is too powerful that it breaks physics.
I mean, that's actually on brand now that I think about it, because that's kind of why his power showed up in the first place, because he like broke his limits. So if he can break the rules, then he can break the rules.
I just thought, because you just brought up the pyramid, I just thought of a question that I never thought of until now. Why is it the Pyramid of Argus there?
I think it's just a reference. I was going to ask Jake that in case you noticed something. Okay. Yeah.
Because the Pyramid of Argus is literally built for the entire like Blaze ritual. So it's like
I know. I was like, where's Blaze?
That's the thing, is like, because it's Shang Tsung's timeline, you can imagine he may have repurposed it for something else.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
he had
yeah.
eons too, yeah. It's so funny to think about also because, like, I don't know if y'all have seen the Clone High Season 2, which everyone's ripping on, but this metaphor
gosh.
makes sense. There's a
Interesting.
random moment in Clone High where, like, the whole setting and language and art style switches to, like, a French romance. It goes black and white, they start speaking French, and one of the characters goes, "Why are we suddenly French?" And the other one goes, "Feels thematic." And I thought it was funny, or like it says feels
Thematic.
appropriate. So I picture that happening with like Shang Tsung and Liu Kang. Liu Kang's at the bottom like, "Why are we at the Pyramid of August?" And Shang Tsung's just like, "Feels thematic." feels appropriate
To be
for a big
fair,
final
though,
battle.
to be fair, it makes for the 6th stage. Like, oh, cool.
Yes.
Red.
It's got 3 parts also.
Yeah, that's a really cool part too. Literally like bottom, middle, and top. Like you can pick whichever way you want. It's a 6th stage. Yeah, with a 6th song too.
It is funny though how with Quan when Shang Tsung's like doing his magic, he opens the portal. It's like, oh, whose feet?
Who is it gonna be?
Who is it? And it's just Quan Chi, and it's like, oh,
yeah.
like the lamest reveal ever. It's just Quan Chi in like a Palpatine role, but it's like, oh. I was
Okay.
hoping,
He looks
I was
very
hoping- I was
Hellraiser.
you expecting it to be like
Hellraiser.
you imagine like Onaga or some Onaga
yeah.
equivalent or a Kronika or something.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just a Quan Chi. and
I
it's
think
like,
Dog, you and I both say Blaze at that moment. We were like, Blaze? Right? Because who could be at the top of the pyramid? Ooh. 24th character? Ooh.
Yeah, I hate that the character select screen only is not even. It's just like it's like the only way for it to be even is if you get the game pre-owned and or you just don't redeem your Shang Tsung code, then it's even.
What was it called? I have a question about that. Has NRS games always been 24 characters? Or have they been like base character without DLCs?
They've been lower
Around
before,
that.
I think. Yeah.
It's usually around that. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm just curious if this would be like the least characters on the base roster like ever.
It might be.
I don't know. It's such a funny conundrum, too. There's so many theories now still flying around about what that final character slot is, because is it actually create a fighter? Like, why else is it not functioning but still there? And then some people and also they're saying that, like, the ending alludes to that because you see so many creative fighters when you're going up the pyramid, so it's like they could be working on that. Another theory is like, oh, the game's just not finished, and that was actually going to be one of the characters. But that theory's dumb because they would have been in story mode at some point. Yeah.
I think the funniest thing is how the day before it came out. I mean, you also said this to Dog, but a lot of people said this was like, NRS are fucking geniuses for not putting the 24th character in the game, so that way, before the game comes out, there's gonna be a patch. They're gonna patch in that final character. Yo, bro, NRS absolute geniuses.
I never believed that, though. I went on
knew
record not believing that.
they were gonna do it, and literally, it's like, have we not learned our lesson about how bad NRS are keeping? The game is out. People have data mined the game. You can literally find the story expansion in the game. The entire story is out. You know what's gonna happen now.
Combat
Pack 2. Yes, it's
we
now
know
leaked.
who's in it. We know the 3 MK characters, and based on some of the intro lines, we can surmise at least 1 or 2 of the guests as well.
That's the most
I did not
annoying
know
thing because I'm
that.
like, I don't want to get leaked. I don't want to get spoiled about that. But you see like the stan accounts be like, oh my gosh, this character got completely shitted and like fucked over in the story mode. But don't worry, in the DLC expansion pack, this happens and fixes their character. Shut the fuck up! I didn't want to know that.
I can't, bro, guys. I can't believe the entire story mode expansion is just Megan Fox. It's just all Natara on her journey.
It's time to fix her character. Yes, finally.
Honestly, my prediction, honestly, that more likely is that if Natara shows up again in the DLC stuff, they're just gonna have Christina V, who does the battle grunts, just do the voice.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Which is funny because they did that. They did that in Street Fighter V, where she took over as Ibuki for the last season.
Interesting.
So wait, here's the
It's
thing.
gonna-
They're gonna pull a Ruby, where one of the villains
Ruby.
who I hated the villain because the voice acting was so bad.
Which
But
one?
for an entire season, after she gets her power up or she gets injured, I can't recall which one. Probably a combination of both, I think. Like she's not ready for the power that she absorbs. She goes completely mute for an entire season. And that could be because the voice actress is literally busy and they couldn't like hire her. Or it could have been there was so many people complaining like me that her voice just fucking sucked. So they just made the villain mute for an entire season. That's going to be Natara. At the very start, she's going to scream, fly in, get punched in the throat, and go, then she's just going to be like... the entire story.
Okay, I know who you're saying now. It took me a while to understand. But I'm like,
Cinder,
that's
I
right.
think
That
is her
actually
name.
did happen in this show. I just remember that.
I
I
was
was
so
gonna
happy.
say.
I felt like I
was gonna
projected
say-
that into the universe. I was like, God, I hate this voice so much. I want her to go away. And then for a whole season, she's just gone. I'm like, yes, yes.
I was just gonna say, what if it's just alternate universe Nitara, basically? Bam, she's a different universe, so that's why it's a different voice actress. Bada bing, bada boom. With that being said, though, alternate universe good Nitara was still Megan Fox. Oh my gosh, it was so did you hear what she says when you win in the pyramid scene?
No.
Something generic, right?
Something generic, but basically at the end, she look. People would say, be like, "Shall I finish this? Shall we end this?" and stuff like that. She just looks at the camera, or she just looks at the camera, and be like, "May we end this?" And it's like, people were saying, like, "Was that like her actual voice line to say, can we stop recording now? Can we just, may we end this?" It's just
be
so
awesome.
nonchalant.
You guys, I just realized what the 24th character is all about. That mystery slot. I just figured it out.
Oh my
so
gosh.
for anyone not aware of the lore, for years now, Ed Boon has been claiming that people still haven't found every secret in like the original trilogy of Mortal Kombat
Okay.
games.
That's bollocks.
He's a big old liar about that, by the way. But that's what this is in reference to. He made a mystery that can never be solved. It's just a 24th slot that will never be unveiled, and it's just to create that perfect like idea of like you'll never know. It's a secret you can never figure out because it's nothing.
Well, the weird part is the cameo selection has the same thing. They also have a missing slot.
That's true, man.
Exactly,
Create a cameo?
yeah.
That'd be pretty cool to create a cameo.
Create a cameo?
See, at least with the cameos, it's like we're getting 5 more cameos, so at least then
Fair.
it will be an even select screen because it's odd plus odd equals even. But
Yeah.
we're getting 6 fighters, so it's still going to be uneven. So the only things that honestly make sense is the idea that like MK9, they're not going to expand the select screen. It's just going to be press this for the DLC characters.
I sure hope not.
Probably.
I have one more
Actually,
theory, actually. I have one more theory, and this makes the most sense, unfortunately. But it's still mind-boggling why they wouldn't fix this.
I have a
So,
feeling I know what it is.
Yeah. It's been a big theory for a while that because Quan Chi and Ermac both show up in story mode,
Yeah.
and when we play the game, we see that Quan Chi is a cameo in the Deadly Alliance, like final boss, and also in story mode, right? So it's very likely that final cameo is Quan Chi, and that final slot is Ermac. But they just, even though they knew, like, at some point they weren't going to have time to add them in the game, they didn't tell that one guy to be like, hey, can you just, like, remove that graphic? Like, he could have done it. And they just didn't tell him, so it's just there forever. We now have, like, Quan Chi and Ermac's slot, but they're just not there.
That was exactly what I was thinking too. Literally, but the thing is, literally, why is Geras in the base roster? Why isn't he DLC? Because he's not even playable or like at all in the gameplay section of the story mode.
Yeah.
Not even Evo Geras, who does pop up, who actually does show up at the
Yeah.
gates, like talking to Dark, like Shao. Not even him. He's not anywhere playable in the entire story mode. It's like, if you literally added Quan Chi and Ermac and removed Geras into the DLC, you would have solved the issue.
Yeah, straight to like because Geras, he has that DLC role. So if he had just been his in the story, set up his role as DLC, whereas these characters that you actually fight in the story, at least one of them is here. Like, let's just say Quan Chi, Ermac.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't want Ermac in the base game to not spoil the Jared thing, so all his intros can come after launch, something like
Fair
that.
enough. Yeah.
That would have just made sense. Well, another thing here is that is if you look at MKX and Injustice 2, they also have the 2 rows thing, and they're not like perfectly filled out either because they have random select in the middle. Or MKX it might be. Yeah, MKX I think it's also in the middle. So it's like you have this random select in the center. If they had that was random select and they moved it into the middle between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, problem solved.
True. There isn't. Is there a random select in MK?
Most of the
one?
Mortal-
It's a
Not
button you
in
press like in
MK9.
11, I think.
Oh, you can press
Yeah.
a button. Okay, I'll keep that in mind next time.
No, normally you press square and then there's like a random option, which is I've always been bothered by because as a big fighting game nerd, I like the random select button. Like I think it should just always be there. I don't like having to press square and then choose random select. That's really dumb to me. But one real quick thing too, for anyone wondering, Ermac is not actually like even close to playable. He's actually Noob Saibot and Shang Tsung's moves combined from MK11. If you watch him
Really?
closely.
Noob
he does
Saibot?
Shang Tsung's. He does Shang Tsung Slam, and a lot of his strings are Noob Saibot strings, like his 113 and his back 2. Like, he's just literally repurposed from MK11. They just took the animations and copy and pasted them onto the joints.
So you're telling me they have a bunch of Noob Saibot moves in the game, and they couldn't give us a Bihan Noob Saibot to fight in the pyramid?
No. We don't get to have nice things, Snake. You should know by now.
I mean, Cyber Smoke is not a costume for Smoke. Apparently, in the files, it's just a separate character.
Yeah, I like he does unique moves. He doesn't just do smoke moves too.
But, like,
from what I
notice that.
I'm sure we'll get it eventually alongside a Cyber Sub-Zero costume and like probably like something for Reptile, just because it's an easy model they can repurpose for multiple characters.
Exactly. Yes. Please, Ed Boom, Reptile, begging you. There was the other one that isn't finished. Obviously not finished is Chameleon. Because maybe she's gonna beat the OC because she's in the story mode, but like Chameleon's moves are just Katana and Melina currently, and technically speaking, yes, that's what she did in the original game, but she's definitely gonna do more when she sells as DLC, right? I definitely can see that.
See, that's the thing is, because Shujinko actually has like, I think he has like technically 5 inputs he can do, because you get the different move of the copy, but I think he also has like a couple of normals. So I could see them using that for Chameleon. So you have like the quarter circles for katana moves.
Wait, there's half circles for like cameo fighters too?
For Shujinko, there is.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah. So it could be interesting if they did that. Like do quarter circles for. Yeah, it's quarter circles for Jade moves. Just normal forward and backwards for katana, and then like double tap or forward to back or back to forward for Melina. Something like that, because you want to have some good variety, like especially if you're gonna have to pay for it extra. You want to have some cool shit. I worry about Tremor. Like, how is he going to be different from Jax? Because Jax kind of does all the stuff you expect Tremor to do, except that Tremor
rocket projectiles.
He can probably just throw a rock at people. Wall. You probably have a rock wall, a rock he throws at you, and
stuff like
probably
that.
Like a grapple, and that's it.
I can already guess what he's going to do, honestly. I think he's going to have the one where he tosses the rock straight up, and it's a delayed fall down, because that's like kind of like what Sector has, I guess, but he's probably going to get that. And I think it would be so cool if he got the, you know how in MKX they had interactables, and you could jump off of them? They're not going to make it interactable, but what they are going to maybe do is he summons the rock beneath your feet, and you jump off it the same way you could in X. He's like just a mobility thing. He lets you leap forward at the opponent. It'd be pretty sick, right? Also,
I like that,
by the way, Shujinko already took what I thought Chameleon would have for one of the abilities. If you have Reptile as your opponent, Shujinko turns you invisible. That's one of the abilities he steals.
I think, I remember that.
I need to get this addressed. So I commented about that as a joke about John Cena. So
you want to post that joke to Discord? I don't know if Dog saw it yet.
It did really well, that tweet. But the point is, quite a few people claim that Reptile doesn't do that. Only Smoke does. And I was thinking, surely if Reptile didn't do it, like, what you guys would have noticed, especially like Sonic, like surely that
it might have been Smoke, but he turned somebody invisible. Is all
I'm sure.
What I do know is Shujinko turns into the lizard form for one of his abilities. I do know that.
Nice.
You see the other one.
What's really nice is that NetherRealm was pretty good. There's only 2 characters in the game that are a bad matchup for Shujinko. Normally he gives you one combo ender kind of move and one kind of combo extender move from the opponent, which is good because you want your cameo to be able to extend combos for you. And it's always the same directions too. Like, it's always down back for like the combo extender and always down forward for the ender, except with like 2 characters. For Reiko, he steals a parry instead, which is garbage. A parry is super situational. And then I think for Smoke, he steals like the invisibility, I think, or something.
Yeah,
that's not
Snake,
even the combo extender.
You don't turn invisible when you use Reptile as a cameo.
Damn, sorry, Snake, we're wrong.
Unfortunately, it was
Smoke.
Smoke.
Fans.
Yeah, no, I just copied for the funny. I was only doing that for the reply. I never corrected you. I didn't. Although, in my opinion, Shujinko is
never on Twitter.
very, very OP if he copies Geras and Kenshi, because like, you straight up get the thing you have to set up for Geras as the ability, and Kenshi, you get the Sento stance. So technically
why are you
speaking,
killing me? You're the one who fucked up. Why do I have to die?
Because you two should have stopped me.
It's not my obligation, okay? We're not your parents, Snake, okay? We're not gonna tell you what to do.
I stole this from Jax, you see, because you know how in MK11 Jax is a grenade launcher, but you can set it up so all the moves are shotgun moves. So it's like grenade launcher and shotgun. See, the way this works is you load up the shell with the little bullets, And so he doesn't fire the shell out, because then you just fire a plastic shell. You fire the pellets, so it basically turns into a shotgun. So it's both.
I like that.
So it's
really
just stolen from
cute.
Jax. And
Very
the skull scheme makes it look like a super scope from Nintendo, which is quite funny.
You know, I feel like if Snake had just been born in Texas in a different timeline, he would just have actual guns. And just a collection of actual guns. Like Oompaville. He would just have a bunch of guns, and he would research what makes the guns legal. Like, okay, so this gun's normally not legal, but remove this one component, and now it is legal.
Actually, it just reminded me, because Trash Taste made a special where they went to America to shoot guns.
Bang, bang, bang.
And then it's like, bang, 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 shh, bang, bang, bang. But they went there, and basically the constructor, every time he brought a gun for them to shoot, he starts talking about all the legal reasons. As, okay, technically speaking, you can't bring like a shotgun or blah blah blah, but this counts as a pistol because of this, and this, so it's stupid. Anyways, have fun with the gun. It's like he does that for every time when they're about to shoot a gun and stuff like that. So that was kind of fun.
That's stupid. That's brilliant. That's good. I like that. Even Oompaville made that joke. He was like, yeah, no. So for example, this pistol right now, totally legal. If I was to take this and put it on, illegal. They can't have this. Or to put the bump stock, illegal.
It's very interesting how that works. You and your American ways with your guns and shenanigans.
Which, by the way, in Texas, a lot of people just break those laws anyway. Like they just own. I have a couple of relatives. I mean, nope. I have a couple of distant friends.
Anonymous people.
Yes,
yeah. 4chan people.
Yes. Predators. They
there you go.
Like they actually own like automatic machine guns and stuff, and they're like, I'll never use it, but in case someone ever does actually break into my house and is like an actual real threat, this thing could theoretically fire 30 bullets through all the walls of my house, and I could just spray and pray if they're in the other room, and I will get him. I was like, that's funny.
Very considerate.
Reminds me of this bit where the Russian Badger was doing a stream, and like someone posted in the chat like this copy pasta of a guy like having like a one-shot musket like the founding fathers envisioned, and it's like if I miss all my shots on a home invader, I have to resort to the cannon at the top of the stairs. Tally ho, friends.
It's like I don't know if y'all have ever seen Precious Plum. It was a parody of Honey Boo Boo in the college days, like a college humor series, I think. And it was so funny because the one who's doing the parody of the mom goes like, "Oh yeah, so I'm a gun. It's like I'm a Second Amendment loving American. So in my garage we got a cannon," and they just have a straight up cannon. And she goes, "This cannon is powerful enough to scare off one intruder, which is good, because then everyone else gets scared too and goes, damn, they got a cannon." But in reality, it only has one shot, and then you get swore, which is why it's so funny. It's powerful to kill one very large intruder, and then the rest all get scared because you got a cannon.
Exactly. So, I'd like to say for our podcast today, we don't want to just be negative. We were definitely going to talk about some positive things. With that being said, though, stick to the end of the episode. I'm sure we'll be more positive when we talk about the arcade mode. But before that, I think we're still going to be a bit negative because why don't we talk about how we've been playing the game recently? How has our gameplay experience been and stuff?
Invasions.
That's the transition, basically, what I'm making here.
Yeah, I finished the Invasions.
We all finished it first too. What a gamer Snake is. I was surprised he finished it before any of us. I went the entire invasion mode without even using the talisman until like the last level and realized I didn't have it equipped.
Because the
game randomly does stat increases. Yeah, but it sure would have made the game easier because some of those talismans are really broken. Like some of them give you like armor for like the entire match, so like the opponent just can't interrupt what you're doing. And I'm like, oh.
But aren't those the items you can consume? I thought for the most part.
Here's a tip for the stats: don't do it auto, which is the way I did it, because I found out that the actual best things, because you go through it and you're like, the enemy's barely doing any damage to me. Like, it's not difficult, It's just time consuming. So what you do is you feed all your stats into just attacks and special attacks, so you do a lot more damage, and like that's all you do, because you don't need the health, you don't need any of the other stats. Like it's so brain dead and simple that the only difficulty is not breaking your controller when it gives you that chaos thing that changes your controls. Doesn't reverse the controls.
Yes.
It just randomizes them every so many seconds.
Exactly.
So if they at least made it that it's randomized for the entire match the same way, It could be like, up is to go forward. Okay, I just need to remember that for the whole match. It's like, up's to go forward. What do you mean up is crouching now? What's forward then? And it's like, how the fuck am I supposed to fight like this? So that, the coughing fit, where you're coughing every 5 seconds, and the pitch blackness are fucking dog shit. They are terrible. They are not fun. They should not have been in the game ever.
That coughing bit, I thought at first, I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. In the first couple, like in the Feinjin village, it wasn't too bad. Later on in like the Living Forest or like in the Fire Temple, there was that one coughing stage that it literally coughed you every 2 seconds. Yeah. And both me and the opponent were just like,
See, this is the thing is, the Towers of Time gave you things that could disable effects like that.
Yeah.
Towers of Time is better than Invasions. For that reason alone, it just for that, it's better because you can go, this is bullshit, I'm turning that off. Because that's not fun. It's not a challenge, it's just anti-fun.
Yeah. That one where you get the controller randomized too, I think the coughing is worse, but that one is just like, time to mash and get lucky, basically. Time to press up and down, and maybe I'll use a special.
I actually wanted to post it on Twitter. I was angry. I didn't post it because it sounded too bitter. But I wanted to post what you were talking about, Sonic, when you're having the coughing fits every 1.5 seconds, like just frequently, and you can't even move. And it says it only covers half the screen. That's a lie. When I jumped, I got coughed and brought back down. When I was on the ground, I was also having a long coughing fit. So I wanted to post on Twitter and go, all right, who's getting fired for this? Because someone definitely deserves to get fired for this. This is the least fun I've ever had playing a video game in the past 10 years.
I still think you can post that, honestly. I think that would be still a funny thing. And the darkness one, as annoying as it is still functional. You can still play the game.
Gave me a headache, though. Gave me an actual headache because I was trying to like something about it like going on and off was like really fucking with my eyes. I was like, ah.
Yeah. The one I'm thinking of is the one where it's just off almost the whole time.
There was one.
Occasionally
there was one.
It's in the Tarkatan camp. Like occasionally it comes back on, but then it's just off for the vast majority of the time. And I'm like, I can't see where I am. If it was at least just really dark, that's one thing. If it went all black for a few seconds, that's one thing. But it's all black the whole time.
Was it a boss fight? I feel like it was a boss fight. That was one of the reasons.
I
just remembered, I think on that boss fight, I equipped the perfect guard, like, consumable, so you just hear in the darkness, king, 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 king. I just keep blocking everything. it's be like, oh my gosh, this is so loud. It just keeps happening. Yeah, Invasions mode, honestly, I would say I enjoyed 5% of it, maybe.
I enjoyed most of it, but what I'd say is a big letdown is after getting the Nether Stones, or whatever they're called, I was very disappointed that it's just more of the same. I was hoping there'd be a bunch of chests in there or something as like a reward for beating the season or something.
You get the old skins. You get the different color palettes for the skin that you buy.
Though. It's not actually that many.
It's like 6 or something, or like.
And oddly enough, Feng Jin has the highest level. They're still not hard because once you beat the game, you're like way too over leveled. But Feng Jin has like level 30 bosses, whereas when I went to the other levels, they're like level 25, 24, 26. I'm
which is weird because you did. I think most people would probably just go, okay, I'm gonna go to the bonus areas. Let's start from the first area and go through that, and then do the same for the rest.
Ironically, I will say because Feng Jin had the level 30 ones, I mildly enjoyed it more than the other ones because it was actually a challenge. It was like, oh, I'm not one-shotting this Melina now. I'm actually fighting with her back and forth. Okay, this is more of a challenge now. Interesting. That's it. That's about the 1% there. Maybe that's a little crude on the 5%. Mainly Invasions mode was for me to just get in practice with Reptile. Just, okay, I'm going to start using my combos on this. Eventually, it just became like, do one combo, kill the opponent. Okay, great, we're done.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, you said that when you go to those Netherstone areas, you start unlocking new palettes for the character that you're using?
No, it's only for Scorpion. The new skin that you get from the Invasions mode, that Scorpion boss skin.
Yeah. It's just,
I meant in the new areas. Like I meant going to the new areas doesn't give me anything crazy. I was hoping there'd be like a huge reward, but all you get is like chests, and the chests still behave like the regular chests. Like you might get something awesome, or you might get something mundane that you didn't care about. And I'm like, damn, I really thought that because they're locked away for the entire season until you beat the final boss, who, by the way, was a big pushover compared to the Johnny Cage boss, which was the actually only hard one for me.
Okay, I lost to that boss twice, actually, because... well, you keep going.
I do love the I freaking loved the chain sequence though. Thankfully, it did like no
Yes.
damage, but it was super creative.
Really?
Chains across the screen.
I got killed by that twice because I was like, because I thought you can't. I was like, can I jump over them?
Tickle damage. Yeah.
It was like, because if you stay on one point and each chain does like perhaps like one, let's say one damage. Where I was standing, there was like 5 chains, or just bam, and it cuts about like
Well,
a
why'd you
fourth or a
do that?
third
Why
way.
didn't you move? You have like a lot of time.
Because
to
I thought
square.
you could only dodge. I didn't know you could jump over them. Eventually, I was like, okay, you can jump perfectly, time it, and just not get hit. And that's how. Okay, that was easy. Yeah.
If you're Melina, you can ball roll in the air. You also avoid stuff, which is super
smart,
fun.
smart.
That's why I'm kind of mad that in the survive parts, for one, there's not enough. I think we all agree, not enough survive parts. I like that mechanic where you just dodge the floating orbs, and there's not enough
But there's
of those.
nothing else you do except jump and, and duck.
It's a bit
That's
too.
it.
It's a bit too samey. I feel like it
Yes.
could have had. I mean, it's all always fireballs. Like it's like how much better would it have been if this one you're dodging Scorpion's chain as it comes down from various angles. This one you're dodging ice balls and ice slides and stuff like that. Just like something different instead of just it's literally just the same, but it's a different color this time.
That's why
Imagine
the
you're
only 2
dodging.
bosses I enjoyed was the first one and the final one. Like the Katana one, at least when she gets to her third phase, she goes to the back of the stage and starts tossing fans. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. That's a very cute mechanic. And Scorpion has the chains. So I was like, okay, more of this, please. This is fun. This is interesting. This is starting to remind me of a good mode called Challenge Tower 300 back in MK9.
I feel like a lot of these, a lot of the stuff that the game does in this mode, it's so basic that if that was just what it does in the first Mesa, I'd say okay. That if it had added more after that, sure. But it feels like they just said, here's everything you do in the first one, the basic one you use to get to grips with the mode, and then they just did the same thing for the entire game. Like the mode didn't even need to be this long.
It was.
And
Oh,
we have
gosh.
like 6 stages we can fight in. I'm not sure you even fight every character. Like it's just
Probably
so.
don't.
True.
Because like the whole first area, it's like okay, you're fighting Geras, Kung Lao, Katana, and Raiden, and that's it. Other than the ambushes and the
Secret fights.
and
Ooh,
secret fights.
secrets. Ooh,
Secret fights that pop up every five fights, basically.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, what's the actual difference between an ambush is between stages when you run into between them. Secret
Yeah.
fight is an ambush at the end of a stage.
Yeah.
But it's a secret
Why?
fight. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's an
I will say
unlockable.
too,
Ooh.
this game has one amazing feature, Oscar-worthy, really, because this
Alright.
game makes you feel like Zorro from One Piece. Because whenever I got caught by an ambush, and you're at the new spot, sometimes the camera orientation is completely different, and I'm like, where am I now?
Yes.
I actually forgot where I was planning on going.
Yeah. Especially during backtracking, I'm like, wait, which way was it going?
Yeah.
That's another reason why the mode needs a map.
Yes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
need
More
it at
zoomed
least.
out
At least when you
view.
finish it, like, come on.
Luckily, if you notice the pathway, it will showcase like what you've unlocked and what you haven't unlocked yet.
Points the arrow. Yeah, on the floor.
Well, it will be like if you've unlocked everything behind you, it'll be blue. And in front of
Oh.
you, if it's green, you haven't explored that part yet. That's how I've been like able to like get everything because I'm like, okay, the entire stage is blue
If
now,
only
so
the
I
game
got
could
it.
fucking told
remember
us
it tells
that.
you. I remember it tells
Yeah.
you remember it tells you what the colors mean at Johnny Cage's mansion, where it's almost.
Oh yeah, they
completely
do. They
linear.
do. That's right.
And then so like by the time I got to a section where it's less linear, and so it could be useful information, I don't remember it.
I will
So,
say I do enjoy the little like riddles. Like
Yeah, what is that about? I didn't do the riddle yet. How do you do
Oh,
those?
you didn't do any of them? Well,
You
if
No,
you
I
un-
don't know how to do
you
'em.
unscramble it and then and that tells you what to do. So one of them is one you unscramble and it says hat trick. So you use Kung Lao's fatality.
On a certain
Yeah.
fight? Does that unlock the
Yeah.
areas that are blocked by random stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, basically.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
they,
that-
and some of them are really easy, and I solved them too. Like
There are
Toasty.
there are two that are a problem, which is one you have to do Ashra's second fatality, one you have to do Shang Tsung's.
Yeah.
And it's like but you have to get to level 14 with the character to see what the input is, or you can just Google it.
Google.
Yeah, you do actually have to look online for the inputs, but
And
there
it's
was
like
one
just-
that's
I think
literally.
it's like
That's
but you have
okay to do. Don't be
unlock-
ashamed. Because
unlock
that's what the
fatality.
arcades did.
You have to unlock a fatality, but you can't just use it straight away. So why the rigmarole? Just give me the inputs from the start.
Well,
What is the
because
point?
you're solving it. You're trying to solve the riddle. Ooh, you're not supposed to know.
But I
and
still
then you have
think
to
it's valid
unlock
because,
it.
like, in the arcade days, you could do the fatalities and they weren't told to you in the game. Like, friends and stuff had to tell you. So like going
Okay.
online to me is still fair for that reason. Like if online you find the fatality, it's the same as overhearing it from your buddy at the arcade. Like what's the real difference?
The very funny thing was that there was one that it was just called something like Demon Queen or something. I forgot what it was. But essentially, I wasn't even trying to unlock the secret stage there. I just happened to get it because I just happened to have Serena as my cameo, and I just
Nice.
happened to use her fatality. Because I've heard people say if you use fatalities, you get more points. So that's why I've been just using brutalities and fatalities each time, and her input is very easy. And I'm just like, you unlocked it. I was like, huh? This was a secret okay. The chances, yo.
Yes.
See,
I am a
I
gamer.
always just aim for the classic every time because it's so easy, so quick. And then if that doesn't work because your opponent's jumping or something, or don't hold the button so it doesn't work,
you mean
I just do
uppercut?
I just have the cameo fatality because it's so much quicker. Like you
Yeah.
really see the comparison with Kung Lao. Where you have the normal one is like slice their arms, slice like the head, and like slice them in two, whatever. And then MK2 Kung Lao's just like,
He
Done.
gets that paycheck.
and I'm like,
He
yes,
gets that paycheck.
thank you, Kung Lao. Thank you for not wasting my time with the same fatality animation.
That's
over and
why
over again.
that's why I use cameos more in the invasions because it gets me faster. Exactly.
Also, Snake was right. That glitch. A lot of everyone's told me this is true. Some of the brutalities just don't come out, even if you meet every requirement. The game just doesn't give them to you. But the uppercut one
Yeah.
always works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All my reptile ones and cameo ones have been working, so I don't have any complaints about that. I've only been playing reptile really.
I know it can work because I've seen it in the new video by somebody where he plays the game as Liu Kang.
Yeah,
I know that
the king.
the bicycle spinning kick move, that brutality can work, but I don't know if it's just I'm doing the input wrong or if the game words it weirdly. He just found the actual way to do it, but I've never
just
been able to
random.
get it to work.
Sometimes you
Really?
can't get them. Yeah, like I'll meet one of the requirements from Alina is you legit just land EX ball roll and hold circle. I can do that in invasion mode, and I just don't get it half the time. The key is to make sure the finish him screen doesn't show up. If the finish him screen shows up, sometimes you just can't get the brutality. Like you'll do every requirement, but you don't get
Oh,
it. Sometimes
I
you
see.
do get it. Like whenever I play online, I get them. I don't not get my brutality. But invasion mode, something about it just like screws it up. Which, to be fair, also, did y'all notice that if you're like too over leveled and you try to combo a weaker enemy, the game just lets them escape your combo sometimes, and you're like, what
Do
the
they?
fuck? Yeah.
I know, like in ambushes or multiple character encounters, they die so quickly that you can't go your full combo.
Oh yeah, you can still one-hit uppercut them because the game can't account for that. But for example, I think it's because of the way NetherRealm games work. Most fighting games have the amount of hits lessen the hits done, so they'll eventually escape your combo. I think NetherRealm has it based on damage. So like the more damage you're doing, the faster they can drop out of your combo. So that's why the AI, if I do like just a regular string into Serena that normally connects, the follow-up of the boomerangs just don't connect and they get to like escape for free. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? That was my flawless victory. He just got to walk out of it.
Actually,
But
yeah.
it's
No,
'cause they took too much
wait.
damage.
I thought because the amount of times they have super armor, that's why they just get up and like ignore your. I noticed that too. It's like, wait, this
These
combo.
guys don't
They
have
shouldn't
it,
be able to
though.
move.
It didn't go ting ting. It didn't go ting ting. It
Oh,
goes
then
ting
maybe
when they have super armor.
that's always what I thought. Then maybe you're right. Yeah, like for some reason, invasion modes, like computers be like, screw your combo.
And also, fun
Terminator
fact
mode.
for anyone watching, this applies to all modes, including competitive and just playing online. Just like MK4, there is a damage limit now. If you reach like 900 or
Max
something in a combo,
damage.
it lets the opponent escape. It like breakers for them and goes max damage.
Interesting.
So you can't
just
do touch of
cannot
death in
one
Mortal
touch.
Kombat 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't let you.
Technically speaking, though, it wouldn't really happen because goodness gracious, how long of a comp? Because it will scale off eventually. So it's like
Well,
you
Aziz
really
did
are
it, though.
doing like.
That's how we know it exists, because he found it in training mode or something. He found a 900 damage
interesting.
combo.
To be fair, though, even though you can't one touch of death, you can two touch of death. Basically, just playing Raiden and Baraka.
Almost anyone in the game can. Even I made a video going live today at noon where I actually roast Sub-Zero players for complaining constantly about his low damage, because after a tiny bit of experimenting, I found that like all of his combos lead to like 32%, and I'm like, bro, there's no meter required. It's a 50-50. I get 32% every time. Like that means 3 combos and I win. How is
Yeah,
that
basically
bad? 'Cause
every
it's Sub-Zero.
character has a three. Yeah, basically every character is 30%. I've noticed. It's just like at least you can get there.
You can even reach 40 if you use Serena. Like Sub-Zero can
Yeah.
reach 40%, no meter. Like there's more damaging characters like Natara is to me one of the most easy damage characters. Her combos are straightforward and she gets like guaranteed 40%, but she's like the worst mix-up character in the game because like her low is the only fast normal that's a mix-up. Her overhead swipe you can like see coming a mile away. So it's fair. Like her low is fast, her overhead is kind of garbage. So to compensate when she does finally hit you, it's like, eat this damage, boy.
Yeah. But yeah, luckily, I feel like the people at NRS are listening to the feedback. The brutality inputs, I think, have been patched, like just recently. Because by the time, just so you guys know, by the way, by the time we're recording this today, the Deadly Alliance Scorpion skin just came out. So if you want to know the context of the time period we are doing this, that just came out. And they are handling the player one advantage bug that I heard it's been going around too.
I like how some people were trying to say, we did it, Underdog's video. I'm like, no, this is coincidence. Like, there's no actual way that they saw my video. We're like, he knows. Oh my God, sound the alarms.
Oh my God, she's watching Underdog. Back to Invasions, the other part that I liked about it was the little cutscene that was in it, the little story it had. I kind of like that. I kind of like that what if scenario that happened. That's the thing though. I don't even know if it's a what if. I wonder if it actually is like canon.
I think I saw Dominic Chancholo say that those are to be decided whether they're canon or not.
Okay, that's good to know. Because by the way, those evil versions of the characters, because that Scorpion showed up at the pyramid. So technically speaking, that's the evil Shang Tsung version of Scorpion.
That's something I'm worried about, because when you look at the intro and it shows like it's saying the other timelines are invading.
Yeah.
Actually, someone's at the door. Just a sec.
All right, no problem. But yeah, like, okay,
you can't keep talking. He can't hear. He can't go back and forth. Yeah. Oh, we could talk about Castlevania Nocturne.
Hey! Okay. But before we're gonna try not to spoil anything. But I want to ask this though.
Yeah.
That last episode.
Yeah. What about?
I felt like the series was good, but that last episode.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I loved it. That's what I mean.
It really
that was
fine.
Elevated.
But I wish the villains don't do enough in the show was my main gripe. Like we see like regular vampires, but like we did this like villain hyped up until like the very
spoilers.
End. Yeah.
Okay.
Until the very end. I can't believe that Yoshi did a triple backflip and drop kicked Mario into the pit of despair. Man. Anyway.
Right.
We were talking about some very interesting things there.
So
Invasion Mode's intro.
Yes, so it's showing all the other timelines, and all the characters they show is all the evil versions we saw in the pyramid. It's the evil Bihan and etc. So I'm thinking,
and no. It's yes, there are evil versions, and then there's also literally versions we've never seen before, like Gyros with hair. Yeah, there's a Gyros with hair in the background.
Gyros with hair, yeah.
Yeah, literally there was. It was in the background. So I'm assuming it's gonna be multiple.
Because I think I'm worried about is that it might just end up being mostly, if not entirely, just the skins we've already seen.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Not some cool like if we get like an evil Sub-Zero, it's just going to be it's a Bihan who's evil. But it's like I'd rather see something cool like here's a Kuai Liang who was evil, because we've never actually seen that before. Yep. Or here's a Bihan who is also Noob Saibot. Or something cool.
Here's a universe where both Sub-Zeros fused together somehow, and they're both stuck inside each other's body, and it drove them mad.
I do hope they get creative, but I actually do like the scenario we got this time. It's essentially like, it's about more of Harumi as a character, really. It was like, oh, she is doomed to get screwed over. So how does she not get screwed over? By kind of screwing over Hanzo.
By being the Hanzo.
Or that too. But like because I always knew like, okay, Harumi seems to be getting on with Kuai Liang in this universe, at least from the arcade endings. But so it's like, how do we solve this Hanzo's issue? Then kind of led to the ending of the Invasions, which is this, oh, there's a Harumi who is like a scorpion. And I was like, oh, that's cute. That's kind of an interesting way of how that could go.
And I think also to add to Snake's fear, I think it's very likely that like the skins we unlock are just going to be the evil versions. Like if Melina gets the season, I can guarantee you it's going to be her Star Wars looking, which is a great skin. I love that skin, but I just hate knowing that her evil skin that she had. She shows up earlier than everyone else. Melina.
The vampire
Melina.
one?
Okay, sorry. It took.
She looks very
didn't hear
Star
Melina.
Wars-esque with like the giant headdress and like the really exaggerated shoulder pieces and stuff. I'm like, that's so Star Wars looking, but I like it. It's a cool outfit.
Literally our favorite ones. It seems like out of everyone.
Also looks very Castlevania now that actually Snake mentions vampire. It does look very Castlevania. The
Very
fashion
Star
is cool.
Wars
Did y'all
like.
notice, by the way, random, but did y'all notice that how cute it is for Titan Katana has a little hourglass implied on her back?
I didn't notice that until your
The little
playthrough. I was
ribbons
like,
do that. And
yeah,
I'm
you
like,
see
she's
it in
got a
her
little
back.
hourglass on her back. Yeah, like it's easy to miss, but it's kind of cute that like I like art like that where it's not in your face. It's just if you squint, you're like, oh, that's kind of cute. And like you said
Yeah.
with Reptile, his like sash wraps around him like a snake. It hangs down in
Exactly.
the back like a tail.
Yes,
that's
that's
way
why-
better than just making him like have a butt plug lizard tail. That's not as cool.
That would be interesting. Never mind. That's not walk that road. Literally, have you guys seen the alt skins of like all the characters? Really, like basically the mastery skin that you can unlock. It's essentially the alt color you can get in the store right now. It's like
It's just
oh, you
gold
like
and
this.
silver,
the gold
right?
and silver versions?
Sort of, but like in the mastery, when you get to level 18 with your character, you unlock their
18.
alt skins, basically.
Yes. Yeah,
And
okay, I know
most
what
of
you
them
mean
are
now.
literally alts, and some of them are like canon to the story. Like who? I kind of forgot. But there was some that are like, oh, this is that version of the character and blah blah. Yeah, have you guys seen Reptile's alt skin? Do you guys
His
know
dumb
how
Power Ranger one?
I think I saw it.
it is fucking abysmal? It's so horrible. It's like everything I compliment.
Most of the costumes are bad. Honestly, I feel like, weirdly enough, it's largely the good alternate costumes that are like really like bottom of the barrel. The evil ones they have a few wins, like Scorpion, Sub-Zero. It's a bit generic with the armor, but they're good looks.
They're good.
Raiden, you got Dark Raiden from MK11 straight up.
Exactly.
So there are, like,
You can get Dark Raiden? Oh, that's cool.
Katana and Melina, they're winners. Although one thing that is disappointing me is that all the costumes that Raiden has that are God Raiden, it's just the Mortal Raiden wearing them.
Currently, yeah. But I mean, they could pull a Jean-Claude Van Damme, you know.
I hope they do. I hope we do get to have like the other Raiden in there because he does have a different voice and everything. So it'd be cool to have that as like a thing you can have. So it is actually God Raiden, not just
true.
Mortal Raiden wearing the armor.
When you go up against Dark Raiden in the story mode, he has his own voice lines. Like he has his own grunts and stuff.
But to assign a skin like this, it would need to have all the intro lines redone.
Oh, true.
See,
but I
it's one
mean,
of the
they
things-
could do it.
It's one of the things I look at and think. I feel like there are a lot more intros per duo because it's just 2 lines now. Because I went through all the Johnny Cage ones recently, looking at them, where there's like, I think like 8 for a lot of the characters. And so I'm thinking, wouldn't it have been cooler if they actually made it that every character has like good and evil versions, or like some kind of alternate version of them? So like you have like the God Raiden, or you have like a Hanzo as the alternate for Scorpion, and then all the intros could be different combinations of that.
It's a lot of effort, but yeah. The for the most part, it seems like NRS when they do the intros, it's like, especially when there are multiple versions of this character, they do seem to stick with one canon. So it's like, okay, when you pick Katana, it is the current Katana, not the Titan Katana or Evil Katana. Even in MK11, it's like you have the Revenant versions of these characters, but when they talk, it's the base version of like Liu Kang and stuff like that.
But I think the only exception is like MKX did have a few unique lines, whether it's Scorpion or Hanzo, and I think some of the Revenants had that too.
Context?
So there were a few where they did that, but like not many. So sometimes they'd be like, "Oh, you've become a Revenant again, Hanzo," and he's like, "This is my true me, and like I will defeat you."
Yeah, once in a while they do that.
One.
They do that in Mortal Kombat 1, especially in mirror matches. You do hear the alternate versions of these characters in the mirror matches. What is this, dog? Can you explain?
I found this randomly on Google while trying to search for something else, and I just love this image because it's so dumb. And I wonder who got tricked by this. It was like, whoa, no way! Does that actually happen in the game?
What is this? The Tobey Maguire leak Spider-Man video?
Hello, Peter.
I'm Spider-Man. Yeah, I sort of disagree with one aspect, Snake. I think a majority of the alts and the evil versions do look good. I don't think it's a very low amount. The bad ones do look shit. I agree, but I do think there are some pretty good ones. I think there's a good amount.
Why do so many of the characters get these weird bodysuits? Like, why is Reptile in like a full bodysuit?
Reptile is admittedly very bad. I don't know how that
so
got through.
bad.
That is so admittedly bad. When I first saw it, even I was like, "You're telling me that the most powerful version of Reptile is just like Power Rangers reject?"
Like, surely you go with like a full lizard version. Surely.
We will get into this when the arcade mode endings, but that skin is called like Melina's emissary or something like that. So it's like implying that's what he wears when he joins like Melina's side in Outworld and stuff like that. Melina, you have poor taste in costumes, you know that? I'm just saying, if that's gonna be the emissary costume, like holy crap! Thank goodness in the arcade mode he doesn't wear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have really ruined the Reptile like meme image if he was wearing that dog shit outfit. Fortunately, he was the default.
Yeah, I made a tweet. I was like, straight up, if Reptile wore this, because that Power Ranger ass alt skin of Reptile is literally. Like, I could believe that as a main, like, the default costume. Like, oh, this is the new Reptile. Bada bing, this is what we made it. That would be, like, the worst situation. Because I could see that. I could literally see that as his default. And I made a tweet being like, if this was his default in MK1, I would have just not buy this game. I would have just been so pissed if that was the case. Luckily, we live in the timeline where they switched it over. And we got the actual, like, S-tier default for his like main skin, so I'm happy.
Unfortunately, the other costume with that the like, MKX-ish like spiky bits actually looks pretty decent.
The evil Reptile one?
Yeah.
I like that one actually. It's not better than default, but like it's kind of like the thing where I'm like, okay, you see little scales on his armor. They kind of like they did more with that basically for his evil version. I want that skin still.
I'm sure.
The Havoc one is great too.
I'm sure that one will be the basis for because we're going to. We're going to get like a Saurian season at some point where which probably will be like my idea for like what I could have done with the Saurian skins last time is it's a reptile who's gone mad and is turning people into lizards like in Spider-Man. So like, because how many? what are the most common themes you saw during the finale? It was this character is Quan Chi, this character is a lizard. Or this character is Johnny Cage for some reason. Like, they're the most common themes.
There's not that many lizard ones. I know because I counted.
There were a surprising
like
number of them. So, I think because they have that as a base already for the character, I'm sure we'll just get a load of those.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully that'll mean that this reptile, the evil one, will get a Saurian makeover and basically just look like the MKX version.
Exactly. Yes. Please, you're gonna save the reptile fandom, Ed Boon, if you do that.
Can you imagine how awful the Quan Chi season would be? It just makes everyone a bald albino.
Everyone's
like version of himself.
I mean, we've got that already with MK11 and so many. There's like 8 characters, I think.
So many Quan Chi variants,
in this story. Why?
Actually, okay.
When I saw Quan Chi Melina, I almost like wanted to put the game down. I was like, what is this?
So with all these mergers, like we have the Kano variants for quite a few characters. So why aren't there more like that? Why isn't there like like Metal Arms variants for a few characters? Or like a variant based on like Shujinko or something? Why aren't there more like that? And also, why have a gender swap Sub-Zero when you could just put Frost's model on it and just have it be a Frost you can fight?
Oh, there is a gender swap, just Sub-Zero, which kind of is Frost, actually, now I think about it.
Yes.
Here's the thing, though. Like, that's my thing with that Pyramid Part 2. I just feel like, because I still love that scene, despite all the insane crap inside of it, I still think they could have went, like, more and beyond with some things about it, like what you're just mentioning. Be like, okay, why not add this, why not add that, and stuff. Like, I really think they should have added like even more characters, even if they're only in the cutscenes, because like we get the combat kids for one scene. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I literally, the moment when Dark Raiden came back, like when Titan Shang Tsung showed up with Dark Raiden, like the reason why I was so excited about that is because if they got MK11 Dark Raiden correct, what could that mean for potential multiverse shenanigans? Can we get MKX, MK9 skins with characters, or literally how they looked back in those games? Or even crazier, 3D era characters who look like that? Or just like the sprites in the original games, just those as like and the pyramids and stuff like that. These or movie versions and stuff like that. What can we get because Raiden actually looks like the MK11 version? And that was the literal exception that proves the rule. Sadly, there is no other version that looks like the previous one.
Even though there are so many, like, so I just have the base. Here's gender swap Sub-Zero. You could make that Frost. Here's gender swap Reptile. You could put Chameleon. Why isn't Chameleon an opponent we can fight there?
Was there gender swap Reptile? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
There's also gender swap Ermac and Scorpion.
I got that one. I got those two. I didn't get Reptile. Oh wow.
They have a model for Cyber Smoke, and
Very
they put that on Smoke's moveset. So why is there no Cyber Sub-Zero?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have just made so much sense? Like, and there's a ton of Kanos and Quan Chis, like no Sonyas, but like the characters that we said before, but like the characters that we fight in the cut scenes that we don't actually get to properly fight ourselves. Like here's Raiden Kung Lao, here's Goro with his 4 Kano Sonya, Goro with his 4 Wrath Hammers. Like those are way more interesting than the weird variants we fight.
Yeah.
And the actual gameplay, like it's so weird, and a lot of it just feels like some of them. It's like, hey, here's Frostbite because it's like Sub-Zero mixed with Natara, haha. And a lot of them feel like that's the extent of it. It's here's a funny pun, put it in the game.
They were definitely making the names first and then used the names to make the characters, like 110%. Somebody at NetherRealm is very punny, and they just let him name everybody.
Somebody in NetherRealm had a lot of rejected Johnny Cage jokes, so they put those as the names there.
Yeah.
Let's get back to Invasions.
You guys can keep talking about Invasion real quick. I'm going to use the restroom, but don't let me hold you up. Y'all can talk about it. I'll just join in.
All right. Well, I guess we'll talk about some boringer things in Invasions.
I bet one of the seasons will be everyone's infected with Tarkat in this timeline, and so we'll get like Tarkat and skins for every character.
Maybe. The thing about that is like, okay. So I want to wait for Dog to come back to continue this conversation because I remember you posed the question. It's like, are all the seasons just going to be those characters with the evil skins, right? So it'll be like, eventually we're gonna get the Sub-Zero season. Then are we just gonna play through Invasions and unlock the Sub-Zero evil skin? Is that all it's gonna be? Like, you just asked that, right, just then?
Yeah, I could imagine that we could get like, so let's say when Ermac drops, we could get a season themed around souls to go alongside him. So you'll get like a bunch of skins, everyone with like glowing green eyes, like they're possessed, or some kind of amalgamation of souls to go alongside Ermac. Then Quan Chi will have everyone with the Quan Chi-ified versions. Takeda maybe like a slightly more high-tech version, or just black and yellow to match the weird new theme for the combat kids, where they're in black and yellow.
True. I
could see something like that.
I hope Takeda won't be too similar to how the combat kids looked in the because the combat kids in the Armageddon part, they were literally just assets. They were not there for like gameplay, in my opinion. Those models. Yeah. So I hope Takeda doesn't look like that. I hope he becomes like.
Does the design he has as a DLC match up with that one?
I don't know actually.
Because I'm sure that one will be his evil Titan version.
No, probably.
And we'll get like the one we see is a normal one, then probably a good one that'll be maybe closer to like what he wore in MKX or something like that, or maybe a bit more. But most of the good characters wear like robes to look like Greek gods, I guess. So I could see. So maybe he'll go more like his Shiraiyu training outfit as an option.
Combat. What was it? Oh, I guess the ending. What was it called? Ending. Yeah. I'm looking at the Takeda differences here, so see. Let's go. Time to get to Mother Katana, Titan Katana.
I saw a funny video, and people will like clip certain parts. It's Johnny Cage thanked Katana for murdering his daughter.
Yeah,
and it's like you'll be able to get Kenshi doing the same, and Kung Lao, like his cousin, gets murdered.
Yeah.
There'll be no one to mourn Jackie though. See, the thing is, when I saw that, I was like, I thought it would have been way cooler if it was like young Johnny teaming up with Cassie as like good guys or something. Or like here's Kung Lao and Kung Jin working together instead of just here's the combat kids as bad guys just to get brutally murdered by katana for no reason.
Yeah. Fucking A, yep, it's the exact same design. Damn it! Because I thought his other design looked better, but no, it looks kind of meh. But I hope there's alts. I hope. It's the exact same look. Now I'm looking at it. Just Takeda wearing the weirdly modern suit or something.
Well, the interesting thing is going to be if because the endings are supposed to be canon, the arcade endings. So
yeah,
like Takeda can't just be like, I mean, the DLC characters obviously, unless they do something clever like this is Johnny Cage appearing on the set of The Boys, and he's playing a character in The Boys. Unless it's something like that, those endings won't be canon.
Probably the guest characters aren't going to be canon then in their arcade endings.
But with Takeda, it's like, will they just do this? Will they treat him like he's a guest character, do the same thing, or will they be like, there's some actual time travel going on with some actual explanation, or he's from just another timeline where he's come to help Kenshi out or something?
Yeah, I have to assume because, like, I think the worst situation is just if he's just like, if this evil Titan version of Takeda is the DLC, which I really hope it's not. I have to assume they're gonna do something plot-wise with him or in the future. One thing that I really looking forward to seeing when like Quan Chi and like Ermac join the game is Ermac going to be Ermac or is he gonna be Jared? And I have a theory that if Jared wants to use his abilities, he has to tap into Ermac. That's my theory. And I think we'll know about it once we get the intro dialogues.
Well, here's the real question. So if we have intros that are meant to be... Because the idea is supposed to be that it is a constant fight. We see that in Sindel's ending, that she is part of the collective alongside Jared, and they have to fight for control constantly.
Yeah, that's the arcade ending for that part.
So presumably it will be a case of Jared will lose control at points. Even though all the endings show him just being Jared, he will lose control at certain points. Ermac will just be taken over. But that also means Sindel could take over for certain intros.
I literally thought...
So will she have an intro with, like, when it's like it's Jameson Price speaking as Sindel, or maybe Sindel's voice slips through while she's talking to Melina?
I think it'll be the other way around. I think it will be like Sindel's voice coming out. Hello, daughter. I'm proud of you. Just out of like the... And keep in mind, that face, the Ermac like face changed into Jared. And like it changes back to like a dead person.
And like no one comments on his voice being different as Jared, so we have to assume that he's basically Jameson Price doing two different voices technically. We have to assume that's the way it is.
Oh, you think so? You think Jared is not Jameson Price?
No, it is. He definitely is. I'm just saying that because he does sound a little different, but we have to assume that unless the Ermac voice just happens to be Jared the whole time, like it just like the Ermac's voice just uses Jared's as a base. Maybe it's supposed to be two different voices. It's like how like Serena is just a deeper Sindel voice.
Yeah,
it's still the same actress, but like obviously that's not supposed to be a thing in the canon, so it remains to be seen.
Yeah,
I just love that now the actor can literally say, "I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude," because that's what he's doing with Ermac.
So now that Dog is back, I want to talk about the thing because Snake was asking, saying like, so does that mean every invasion modes it's just gonna be the evil versions of the characters and their story and their skins that we're gonna unlock?
I mean, it just makes sense technically for like story wise. Like, why would the good versions invade?
And it's the easiest solution. I'm thinking of it like from a cost-saving, time-saving angle, but. Yeah.
Yes, but the reason why I don't think that's going to be the case is because you can unlock all the evil versions in the game right now, right?
You can kind of
from the shrine.
I've unlocked evil Garrus, but I don't know if that means everything.
Me too. You can unlock evil Sindel in the shrine too, so that means she's not going to get a season. But in that case,
I've not seen any of these in the shrine. I got Sindel with the premium currency, and then I've heard you can even get Deadly Alliance Scorpion in the shrine, but I've not seen that. I got that with the premium currency.
I've heard people tweet about it. I've heard people say like, you can, because I've heard people be like, okay, because I got Sindel in the shrine, I don't need to buy her. That's why people are saying like, technically speaking, probably the things you have to buy, you can get lucky and get in the shrine.
So I feel like they've not been that clear on that, and that feels a bit fucky to me. The fact they've not said outright, like you can just unlock all this stuff. You don't need the premium currency, because it really does feel like. Like, because like here's a costume people are obviously going to want, Deadly Alliance. So the fact they've not said that this thing is available elsewhere, and that when you're looking at the costumes, unlike 11, when you looked at the skins, like in 11 you could just see, here's all the skins the character has, here's where you unlock it. You get this in Towers of Time, you get this in this mode, so on and so forth.
Yeah, the shop is just really incomplete right now. Like literally, it says 23 hours refresh, 24/7.
Yeah, but the fact that it doesn't tell you where to unlock these costumes, like it doesn't say Deadly Alliance Scorpion, you can get it in the shrine, or you get it through progression or something. That makes you think. So if I don't get this now, what if it's only in the shop and I have to wait months to get this? So are they using FOMO in order to get people to use premium currency?
That's also one thing I'm very worried and also think that sucks. It doesn't tell you what you can unlock. Like, I have Scorpion, and maybe it'll be like, you could unlock this skin, you could unlock that skin, but they don't tell you. Do they tell you in MK? I'm pretty sure they at least still show you the things you don't unlock in MK11, right? Or do they?
Yeah, when you start the game and you go to customization, every single skin is listed there, and it will say like unlocked in Towers of Time, unlocked in the crypt, stuff like that. I think in some cases they even say like specifically you get it in the Naknaden Shrine or something. So sometimes they can get uber specific, but
or question marks. That was the worst one.
Yeah, like, there are some that do that, but a lot of them will be like, here's where you get this costume. So you can generally have an idea of where you get this stuff from in MK11. In this game, it's just like, we're not even going to show you what costumes are in the game currently. So like, I didn't even know. I thought Deadly Alliance Scorpion was just in the files, but wasn't unlockable, and would just show up in like a later season of Invasions or something, alongside Deadly Alliance Nitara.
And then it just popped up today, basically. Yeah. I really don't want to say like we gotta wait to see, because like I want to know how to unlock these things. I want to know when I can get them and stuff like that. It's like, we know it's in the story mode. We see it there clearly with our eyes. It's like we can unlock them.
I like to imagine it's all in the shrine. Like, I think that the shrine has the potential to unlock literally anything, I've
heard some people say that they've actually got everything there is to get in the shrine. Like, but I don't think that. Which seems like if you can get everything, that's like a lot of the in-game currency to use on the shrine.
You would have to use a mod, I feel like, to have accomplished that, because the concept art alone has like, I feel like 100+ things. You have to have already unlocked like
so
100,000 just for that. And I like concept art, but it's a shame that it costs. It's a shame that, like, well, for one, it's awful that I can't spend all the coins at once and like just do 10 unlocks and show them all right in front of my
really
face.
long.
Yeah,
it takes so long for the entire animation. Like, come on, if you want to be a gacha, at least be a good one. Learn how to do the gacha system.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, even in Onslaught, they have that problem. I have a buddy who was playing the beta version of Onslaught for months, and he's like, "Yeah, same thing in Onslaught. Like, you
Congratulations,
legit can't do 10 at once."
Onslaught, officially getting a pre-release or something. You can download it early now.
Yeah.
Congratulations! Woo!
It's like it's coming out in like I think it's like the 17th of October or something. I'm like, isn't that like a full year after they announced it and put it in beta?
Cool. Congratulations. I really wonder if they're gonna do any cross-promotion skins or whatever. Do this in Onslaught, and you get a skin in Mortal Kombat 1 or something. Who knows?
But I'm also wondering about the story for that game, because it's like because the story's based around MK2 basically. Yeah. There are certain characters that they can't use, like unless they have some weird time travel plot. You can't have Cassie or Jackie in the story.
Yeah.
But then there are like Quan Chi is in the story, and he's prominent so far. He's all over Chapter 1 because that's Scorpion. He shows up in Chapter 2. He shows up in Chapter 3. He shows up a lot, but they're using the MK11 assets for the big cinematic cutscenes. So does this mean Quan Chi's not going to show up in those scenes and with voice acting, or are they going to port over a model from the new game? Like, will that art style blend well enough with the other one to fit in?
I guess we'll find out. I mean, it's the art style is trying their best to be live action, right? So technically speaking, it should. Now that I think about it, though, the costume designs, like we've been saying, MK11 and MK1 big difference is MK1 is so vivid in color, so it's like you see all the more like toned down mundane coloring, and then all of a sudden, hi, I'm Scorpion. Bing! Super bright yellow Scorpion shows up.
Oh, pink
Scorpion. Let's go.
When Quan Chi gets his white skin, and like the white skin is like borderline luminescent, it really stands out from everything
Shines.
else.
Bing! Yeah, there's a player who is playing like Rain in tournaments right now, and every time he shows up, I'm like, oh, I know it's him because he's wearing the pink bright skin Rain right now. Yeah, it's just there it is.
Rain is such a fucking knowledge check. I got my first double flawless with Rain.
Interesting. Rain surprises me, his playstyle, because literally like when they market him, he's like premium zoner. He's gonna zone the heck out of you. Get ready for another dead shot.
And
it's like,
not.
no, he's a combo maniac. Actually, he's actually quite hyped to watch.
The only thing I was upset about is that there's one thing I don't like, and I guess it's to make the game balanced, but to me it wouldn't have been a big deal at all. So I knew my opponent wanted to jump in, so I did his little whirlpool where he throws on the ground, and it's like a little floor hazard. I was thinking because it hits low, and in Mortal Kombat 1, you can't block instantly when you touch the ground. There is some landing frames, just like most fighting games. So I thought for sure he should just get sucked into the portal when he jumps on it. No, they have time to block. And I'm like, that's so lame. If I place it beneath his feet when he's jumping in, because I know he's going to jump in, then he should just fall right into that crap. That's how it should be.
I see. But yeah, I guess we'll find out once Invasion Season 2, which, by the way, if you beat Invasions, you get the Season 2 teaser, and it's basically just Nitara's scream. So once Season 2 drops, the moment we see if Nitara, you know, the Spike Brawl Nitara design, if that's going to be the thing you unlock at the end, then the worst, then like the worst scenario happened, which essentially means like, oh, then the evil skins we see in the story mode, they're going to be the Invasion skins, basically. That's in the moment we'll find out. Until then, I'm excited to hopefully get some awesome Halloween costumes. I really want it. I want Syzoth wearing like a reptile like pajama skin or something.
That'll be awesome. Oh my
God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like that kind of like a funny like skin or something. Yeah.
Like feety pajamas with like a lizard hood.
Yeah.
No, I want Ashra to wear that. I want Ashra to have that.
Oh, that'd be cute. That's true actually. Speaking, you know, that's. Are we done with Invasions? What, you guys want to say anything else about Invasions?
Invasions is poo.
I mostly enjoyed it, but that's because I'm a huge environment snob. Like, I love video game environments.
I do like the environments.
I had fun just looking at stuff.
Yes.
I was kind of surprised that Shang Tsung's lab was one. I was like, there's no way they're gonna like be able to make it big enough. But then because there's levels to it, I was like, oh, okay. And I was actually impressed that each floor was not just the same floor repeated. I thought for sure they were gonna do that, but no. Like, the top floor is actually an atrium complete with like the solar system and stuff. I was like, oh, that's actually really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that Shang Tsung's lab, there are 2 stages for it in the story, but we don't get to go to the underground lab here. Like
that'll be saved for the next maze. So
that would have been way
cooler.
It shouldn't be a separate maze. It should be get the Netherstone, open the door, head to the basement. Here's a cool secret.
But then they can't like squeeze out 20-40 stages of you to play. Then it'll be really short. Like, that's not gonna work out for them, unfortunately.
Here's the Attack on Titan key. Now you can go into the basement. Here you go.
Yeah. There's one thing I do
yeah. Attack on Titan.
Hey, that'd be a fun pun. That'd be very.
Has anyone done that yet? Someone has to have put that on Twitter, right? Just plays the original Attack on Titan theme. It has them running up the pyramid.
Oh, your camera! You're still recording, it seems like, on my screen.
I can't believe that Snake has just a poster of that waifu on his wall.
Yeah, I saw some posters there. Yeah, looking at these posters, it reminded me of that one time where we were recording. I think I was on the cruise ship, and TrueUnderDawg was like, while we're recording, because TrueUnderDawg had to record his screen, he just started going on Twitter, and he had to like, post something, and we were talking, and both of us could just see it, and we're like, Dog, what are you doing? Dog, hello, we can see exactly what you're posting here. I'm posting this funny smoke meme, and I'm like, and I was looking at that screen, and it says like, recommended Twitter like users for like TrueUnderDawg, and it was like a meme account, a hentai artist, and like a furry bara artist. I was like, what are you looking on Twitter to get those as recommended?
I don't ever look at furry art, so that one's kind of funny. But I don't even look at really hentai art, but I do look at a bunch of art because I'm trying to like, commission people for stuff. So I probably just look at good art and click it, and then it turns out that person's a hentai artist. But
maybe.
I will say too. I thought you were gonna say that there's like some hot cosplayers or like borderline OnlyFans models. That would make sense too, because I used to have a meme going where I don't know why I thought this was so funny, but to me it was the funniest thing in the world, and people thought it was funny too. It got a lot of likes whenever I did it. Whenever one of those like thirst trap like accounts was like, "You have me for a day. What are we doing?" Or like, cringe posts
no,
like
I
that.
know- I
I'd
know
be
what
like,
you do,
"We're
yeah.
playing Bloody Roar 3." That was my response to every single one. Like, "Can I come over to your place?" And I'm like, "Only if you have Bloody Roar 3." I do it like to every single one of them. And
You
the
did
funniest part
one-
is, they responded back. It's such a unique thing to say. So I guess they just kind of stood out. They'd be like, "And we can play all night long." And I'm like, "You got a PS2? Let's do this."
I remember you made a reply being like, "You've got 24 hours with me. Do whatever you want. What do you do?" And you just posted Challenge Tower 300. 24 hours.
Yeah.
Challenge Tower 300. You posted that. Yeah, that's the one I remember. Is
was
Bloody
good, but my
Roar
favorite
2
one-
goaded? Do you recommend that?
I like
then? You'd be
3.
saying,
I like 3 the most. But,
3.
everyone
Okay, I'll
says,
keep that in mind.
Everyone says that Primal Fury is the best, but they're all just 3 with more characters. It's back when fighting games were cringe and just added DLC characters. But made a
Oh,
whole
Ultimate
new
Marvel
game.
vs. Capcom 3. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it changes all the voice actors too, and it makes some costume changes that I don't really like at all. So I still prefer 3.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I just got a really funny idea then from mention of Challenge Tower 300. The idea of, like the videos of like Yo Video Games or Super Best Friends Play where they're going through that Challenge Tower 300. The idea of like an epic like boss raid style video, and it's Dog and these like 2 or 3 like OnlyFans girls, and they're giving it a shot, and they're doing quite well. They're doing surprise oh whoa, this girl's got skills. What's going on? And it's like hour 5, and it's just like. It's like these scantily clad women are just trying to beat
poor
Shao
ladies.
Kahn, and just like "Far!" and they get
ladies.
really into it.
Actually getting into it. Yeah. But that actually is one thing that that's a good segue for one of my points I just thought of for
What?
invasions mode. Because
Such a great idea for a video series, like bringing over attractive women and like Instagram models and making them play fighting games, and recording their reaction to like fighting Shao Kahn or something.
Stupid cheap.
He keeps insulting me. I hate this guy. He told me I suck.
But the reason why I actually like semi enjoyed my playthrough of like Challenge Tower 300, despite the fact that I
One
skipped a lot
second,
of them.
Sonic. 1 second.
Yo.
He's about to try and shoot me. You better hope
Again.
you don't fucking miss. Because if you do, I'm going to be coming right at you. And you're
He's down. He was
add
he was
the
about to
gunshot
threat you.
sound effect and shit in post.
He was about to say, "I'm gonna come right to your house, and we're gonna play Challenge Tower 300 for
We're going to
24
play
hours."
Bloody Roar 3, baby. I'm gonna
24
come to your
hours.
house.
I do want to say, Dog, that it's funny the idea of like an OnlyFans model saying, "Oh, I hate this guy. He told me I suck." It's like you probably do if you're on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah,
just
there definitely be some women who
Panel
lean
ping.
into the joke and be like, "I do, but in a different context."
I like the idea of like an OnlyFans model who's like the gamer girl OnlyFans model who's like really self-aware about it.
Oh.
It's like she plays like it's just on her own. She just does a video of Challenge Tower 300. Shao Kahn's like, "You suck," and she goes, yeah, but like,
Come on, man.
yeah, but you're not supposed to say that."
Come on, man. Hey, if we can totally do this video because we actually do have an OnlyFans person here.
Is it me?
Didn't you say before you're gonna make an OnlyFans?
Oh, I'm just joking though.
Really? I thought you were legit that one time. I guess like half a year
Why?
ago.
Why would you think he was going to do
Well,
it?
he posts his own pictures. He's been working out. He's like, "Yo, gonna get that OnlyFans."
Yeah, but
You've said that
Sonic,
before.
I'm old. Nobody wants to see an almost 30-year-old man's balls. Nobody wants to see that.
You
They're
said it was
wrinkly
gonna
enough
be
by
like
default.
safe. You said it was gonna be safe OnlyFans or something like that.
It was
I
going to
love
be
the
funny,
part-
safe for work stuff. Yeah, like I could be like
I lo-
posing with
Aha,
like a,
see, he
a
was
reptile,
gonna do it.
a reptile
lo-
plushie over my junk, and I'm just like,
I love the part where Dog's like, "Oh yeah, acting like almost 30 is like too old," and I'm like, I'm turning 32 in just over a week. Dude,
Old.
come on.
How dare you,
oh,
boomer?
we're all old. We're all
Okay,
boomers.
back to my amazing transition I was saying about invasions. I was thinking like the one thing that I think that made Challenge Tower like 300, despite that also being just a bunch of like you're fighting a bunch of like characters.
Old Emma. I'm old Emma.
You gotta shoot him
yeah.
again. I can't believe it.
I'm doing my best to turn my body into Big Ed.
What? You know, a good thumbnail materials right there. I appreciate that. So the but, like
Actually,
even even in the Challenge Hour 300, you had like these little segments where it's like characters will have little dialogues that pop up, and it's like the stupidest little storylines that happen.
Yeah.
It's like Scorpion giving Melina. Was it Melina giving Scorpion a teddy bear? I forgot which way around. I think it was Melina who gave
So
Scorpion a
she's
teddy
trying to
bear.
give him one, and he doesn't want anything to do with it.
It's
And
like,
people are like,
how dare
OMG
you!
goals.
Yep, and then it's
Goals.
like, and that made Scorpion and Melina become a ship. But like stupid little ideas like that. Even like when I was playing Reptile, it's like, oh, I beat up Johnny Cage because he thought I was like his stunt double, and then like the next episode, you just see Johnny Cage laying dead there, and a paramedic showed up, Stryker, and now I have to fight him and stuff like that. These little cute little storylines just make it more endearing, despite the fact it's just like I'm just playing the game again and stuff. I just think these little things could just spice it up, make it more interesting. But as of right now,
at least the boss fights. When you get to a boss, it should be like, yo, why are you working for Scorpion? He's trying to burn this timeline. They're like, oh, I'm working for Scorpion for this reason. Now die.
yeah, the Liu Kang does give some of them reasons, like the Johnny Cage and stuff. A little bit, at least.
It did annoy me when he stopped doing that. Because then the boss fights get catching me off guard because I didn't realize it was a boss fight. Because I was like, oh, he's going to alert me it's a boss. Switch to my main. But then it's like, oh, he just stops.
And then the tornado shows up.
I guess I'm fighting
shit.
a boss with a character I don't normally use. Great.
Yeah.
In fact, I wanted to bring this up. So I keep thinking of Sonic's reaction to Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe because there's that goofy scene where Catwoman is running and the portal opens up and she's like, I can't stop. It just goes in.
I can't
and that
stop running.
That happens in Invasion. You'll be on like the board and those like random portals to like the Chaos Realm open up. Or whatever,
yeah.
And your character just keeps going. And I unironically, I wish I was recording. I just go, oh no. Run inside of it. Like, I can't stop.
Oh, surprise, Chaos Realm.
Oh, jiggly tits.
To be fair, those portals are one of the best things in the game because you get a few items from it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's
it's
so
always a
good.
happy surprise. It's always like, yay, a Chaos Realm portal. Woo!
That's what secret fights should be too. The secret fights would be cool if whoever you fight, you unlock their skin. Because then you'd be
They just
hyped
give
like
you a
when you
talisman.
see them. You'd be like, oh! You always get a talisman. The talisman deletion is the dumbest limitation in the whole effing game because
Why
every time
does it
now I have to
exist?
dump one. Every time I
Why?
have to dump one. Like every time.
Why is there a limit? Who thought of this? I honestly,
Sonic, we can only hold so many PNGs. The PS5 can't handle all these PNGs.
At a certain point, I played through the entire game. I just kept like going to the collector, selling them all except for one, and then I just keep doing that.
You can sell them.
See,
Yeah, that's
would
what I
do
did
that.
basically.
I would do that, except there's fuck all to buy with the money.
Yeah, basically.
I'm so sad that I didn't even realize. A friend gave me advice on Discord. He said, oh, by the way, Collector sells things that level you up in Invasion, and you want to buy those early on because you reach a peak level eventually, so they become useless. And also, everyone gets the Invasion upgrade, not just like the one character. And I'm like, okay. So I forgot that I was in like the tutorial area because for some reason you just skip that area by default. The
Cage
monk
Mansion?
area.
Oh,
No,
the
monk
Wuxi,
area.
yeah, the Wuxi.
The Wuxi
yeah.
Academy, yeah. You skip that area, despite that being the actual tutorial area. And
that's a safe zone basically.
yeah,
Well,
sort of.
I don't
And that's
remember
where he
that thing
sells it.
even
He
be-
sells like 3 level up items for your Invasion.
I went to
so
buy
it could have
that.
been max level even sooner. Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
like I was
the
level
Wuxi Academy
20.
even in the. I'm sure the Wuxi Academy wasn't even in the game at first. I'm sure it got added like after the normal release.
Oh.
What? Really?
I'm sure it wasn't there when I started playing.
Huh. I
What's
know.
wild to
I
me
don't
is
know
Cage
if it,
Match is gone now. You can't go back to Cage
you
Mansion.
can't go back
which
to Cage
bothers me.
Mansion. It was only
Yeah.
there for the tutorial.
I unlocked everything, but I'm still like, damn. What if someone didn't? They just can't go back now.
That was the best location because actually it wasn't just.
There was-
because it wasn't just living forest, so it's trees, right? And here's a little like wrecked up like fortress or whatever. It's Johnny's mansion. Here's his home cinema. Here's his gym. Here's all this stuff, and it's like that's really cool. I want
And
to
here's
see
Johnny
that.
also narrating and giving like fun
Yeah,
tips and
it's like
stuff.
they should have had different guides for different locations. Like
I thought they would
like
at
you're in the
first,
living
That's what I
forest,
thought. Yeah,
reptiles
that's what I thought
talks to
too.
you.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact too is that there's way more NPCs in Johnny Cage's area, like just doing stuff, like they're
Yeah.
just dancing or walking around or something. And I'm like, that's really absent in most of the boards. Like when you're in the
there's one
living
of them just
forest, there's
laying
almost
in the-
nothing.
In the water, in the
Like,
Cage Mansion.
there's a bit of it in Sundo, and then like after that,
There was
there's
some
just
NPCs
nobody.
in Sundo, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Then there's just nothing. So it's very much front loaded.
I guess there were
it becomes very barren as it goes on.
Tarkatans in the Tarkatan colony, I think.
Yeah. But they just like stood there doing nothing. They weren't even like just a couple of guys just chatting or something. It's just
Yeah.
a Tarkatan there like. "Arr."
There is one thing thanks to this invasion mode that I think I can mention in my video. Like I'll mention this. It's not confirmed, but I will mention when the living forest gets corrupted into the corrupted forest. I did think, is it the entire forest that got corrupted? And if you play that living forest like Mesa, it's like you start off in the living forest and then you walk into the corrupted living forest part. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And that might actually be lore accurate. Maybe only part of the forest is corrupted then, if that's what they're showing. At least that's how I like to think of it. Yeah. Overall, like I said, I think I'll be nice, maybe 10%, because it was literally an excuse to practice reptile combos in that mode. I probably enjoyed 10% of it, and I would say the 90% of it was more like a grind. It's more like a homework assignment, especially for YouTubers who want to unlock skins for their videos. Be like, okay, I need this. I'm doing this for my video. Okay, that's why I'm doing the invasion mode. It's my homework assignment, essentially.
It definitely would have been cool if there was more of those unique moments, like in the desert, where when you go down a certain path, the camera pulls in real close, and your character for the first time in the whole game is not just going straight; they're like curving and going around and stuff.
Yeah,
it only happens a couple of times.
On the
And I was
stairway
like,
in the
"Oh."
laboratory too.
And you can tell also there's what's interesting is like you think it would just be like on a predetermined path, but it seems like instead they're actually kind of coded to just walk until they hit the wall because they're kind of like zigzagging in between stuff. And I'm like, if they just had a path for them, it would look like a way smoother curve, but they're just like kind of hitting the wall and then moving off of it. And I'm like, huh. That had to be way harder to code than just giving them a path. Like node path is like the easiest thing to do. Like node pathing is so easy. Oh well.
Who knows?
I can't believe we're still talking about invasion. I feel like we said we were done like 15 minutes ago.
Well, I said, are we done yet? And then you hear it, well.
I just said I liked it. That's it.
Yeah,
I like the invasion mode. I'm not sure if I'll replay it every season. That's true, but I like it.
Yeah. I will definitely.
I can't believe invasions mode invaded our conversation.
That was a good one. What was that scream? What happened?
I think Natara got him.
Oh, sure. Okay. I'm assuming maybe he cooked something in the oven. Or... What is... That was like a panic scream, or I'm not even too sure what happened there.
He's probably hurt himself.
No, because he screamed, calmly got up. I can hear him, actually. What do you guys think happened to TrueUnderDawg? Leave it in the comment section and see if you get it right. Did he, my guess is he cooked something, but he left it in the oven for too long.
No offense.
My guess.
Just don't triple neck cable. That's the biggest threat in this apartment.
I got you.
My Ethernet cables.
Alright, that'll be it.
Thanks so much.
Have a great day.
You do. Appreciate your work.
Somebody came to fix something for him, apparently.
I guess.
Did he not? Did he just came in? Did he? This is so interesting. Well, I'm wrong, guys. Sorry about that.
Menacing
I tried.
door knocking. I had an inspection today. It turns out a apartment inspection, but all they do is like change your air filter. so you
wait.
changed my air filter.
Did you just scream at the guy at the door?
Well, because he knocks so loud. I know they have to because they don't know which room you're in, so they're probably told to knock loudly. And he's a young guy. That guy was like barely out of high school, looks like. But
Okay.
He went,
But you screamed at him.
It was just
Yeah.
so loud.
Did you just, so you just screamed at the guy knocking at your door?
I didn't think about that. Like out of
Right.
context, that's so weird to him.
I'm just like, yeah, like, that's basically probably he heard that scream. Was like, what the heck?
Sonic, you gave me a brilliant idea. I hope I remember this. Now, whenever someone knocks on my door, I don't care if it's a Jehovah's Witness or a maintenance person, I am going to start screaming from where I am and keep that pitch, but just run at the door. So it's like, hello?
Hello? What an entertainment live leak moment right there, guys. Look
And
at that.
listen,
Only on the
that would make
Combat
somebody's
podcast.
day too. That would make somebody's day to prank them like that. You don't think it would, but it would make their day so mundane. Just knock on every door. Hello, how you doing? Hello. I'll be the guy that screams at them. They'll appreciate me, and they'll remember.
I mean, you did. You did.
It could be a funny intro for a video about Natara or Sindel, where it's like the camera's just in your room and up facing the door. Then you just come running in. How you doing, guys?
Oh my god, I gotta like learn how to speak like several phrases in Latin and just walk towards the door speaking Latin in a creepy voice and like I'm a fucking Satanist or something.
You're a
and that's
Resident
the door
Evil
and be
4
like,
cultist.
"Good afternoon. Well to meet you. Would you like to come inside my abode?"
Abode.
And I'll wear a cloak and everything. They'll just think that I'm a fucking.
You quote Dante's Inferno, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here," but like in Latin.
That's
And
my
then
doormat.
it's like, what?
That's my doormat.
So, arcade endings, guys. It's in the title. It's in the title. We're finally not going to criticize this game anymore. It's in the title. So, I personally do find the arcade endings to be very interesting this time, especially once I thought about it more, because before, the arcade endings are definitely more like what ifs. It's like, oh, this person got absolute power. Oh, this person like went on this path and stuff like that. The only probably semi more like they might have went like with the plot was MKX, because it did seem like there are some loose ends or like some semi basing to what happens in the story mode, and then some aren't.
Yeah.
But
There
this
were
time,
quite a few endings. There were quite a few in MKX that were like there were about 4 that were about the idea of Raiden going to war with Outworld. So you can tell there was some setup being done there that just never got followed up on.
yeah.
Whereas
yeah.
here it seems like they are trying to
I think, yeah,
have
in
it all be
MKX,
canonical.
yeah, in MKX I was like, oh, are they gonna kill Jax? Because it feels like they're implying that in the ending or something like that. But yeah, this time it does definitely feel very, very like an epilogue, and now I really do appreciate that, especially when you think of the ending of MK1, because the ending of MK1 is just, we save the day. Here's our 4 main protagonists and Liu Kang. Bye bye. Okay, what about everyone else? What happened? What's going on with them? Huh? That's the ending? What? Come on. I want to know what happened with everyone else. And you get that in the arcade ending. You exactly see like what's possibly going to happen in the future, and like what's up with these characters, and yada yada. And in that aspect, I actually do appreciate the arcade mode ending a lot more, because the ending in MK1, if there are characters you want to know what happened to them, you don't know unless it's the arcade ending. That aspect I do appreciate.
It
And
can be a bit of an issue. Sorry,
Go ahead.
it can be a bit of an issue, the fact that some endings are lead into another.
Yes.
And so you can get spoiled on certain details. Like Reiko's is a sequel to Shao Kahn's.
Yeah.
And also to Katana's as well. So sometimes
Okay,
you're like,
yeah.
I got lucky I didn't get anything like that spoiled by getting the wrong ending in a certain order. But there are some where it's like, this you should get this ending first. But
Scorpion.
there's no way to know that.
Get Scorpions first
Yeah.
before handling the Lin Kuei stuff, yeah. Or the shit out of you, because then you would know, if you get Smoke's ending, you'll be like, well, I know Scorpions with Harumi and like, yeah, and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
by the
one ending can completely spoil another one, which is unfortunate. Like Shao Kahn's is setting up his faction, what they're doing, and then Reiko builds on that.
Yeah.
But if you get Reiko's and you know everything that happens in Kahn's.
I'm so confused, by the way, too. Maybe y'all can elaborate this for me and clear the air. Are their endings just not canon with Reiko and Shao Kahn? Because don't they effing die in story mode?
what?
No, those were alternate.
That was,
timeline
yeah, that's
Are we
Dark
sure?
Shao and Dark Reiko.
Okay.
Yeah, they were in different.
See, I
outlets.
thought,
was
I
from
thought
the
because he's
Shang
okay. That's why I was
universe.
confused, because I thought because he still had the horns that was just new drip that he got after joining the bad guy.
No.
That's what I thought.
No. Yeah, that's in
Okay,
subtitles.
remember,
Then
like,
I like that
I
because now they're just not dead. That would have been such a weird, unceremonious way to handle
Yeah,
General
yeah.
Shao. Like, here's a whole new take on the villain.
The game
Also,
just does
goodbye.
weird things like that.
By the way,
it does weird things like that. Like all the Sub-Zeros from the other timelines, they're all Bihan. All the Scorpions are Kuai Liang. All the reptiles, shapeshifters.
Yeah.
They're all reflective of the way they are in this game, which
Yeah,
is
it's like-
really weird.
Titan Shang Tsung, this person we've seen from
Had the
MK11,
same ideas.
also has the
exact same
claws
idea.
that was added into this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
Also,
it might.
Zane is still a mage
and
when
he-
he would not
and
be.
he's
He's
like,
a ninja in every other reality. Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, wouldn't it be really cool if Rain was like a wizard? And wouldn't it be cool if
Rain
like,
is a wizard again.
if Bihan didn't become Noob Saibot? What if Scorpion was Kuai Liang? Wouldn't that be hilarious? Then he shows up in Liu Kang's timeline. He's like, that fucker stole my bit.
Yeah, pretty
But I
much.
kind of- I
Everyone
like
kept
knowing
stealing
this
it.
then because I wasn't sure when I saw evil Bihan, for example, show up. Not in the pyramid, because in the pyramid I accepted they're all just like the Titan versions or whatever, or the evil versions. But when they're fighting at the portal area before that, I thought that was actually just Bihan wearing new drip because he was working for the evil
Oh,
Shang Tsung.
really? Oh,
I'm
okay.
glad to know that's not the case, and he just kind of effed off and did his own Lin Kuei thing because that's way
Yeah,
more
yeah.
in character for him.
Definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It's like everybody, all the villains up to chapter Shang Tsung are all gone. They're now the alternate universe villains.
They're all
Straight
just
up.
SpongeBob. All right, I'm out of head.
Well, actually,
that'd be a great meme. Every villain
canonically
after chapter
speaking,
13. All right, I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, I'm gonna head out. Okay, so canonically speaking, from the arcade endings and even from the dialogues, they're all in jail and they broke out.
Yeah.
Because okay, here's another thing, by the way, because
That's
I
why
haven't gotten.
Spider-Man and Batman are wrong and Punisher is right. Sorry, go ahead.
To be fair though, like they were gonna execute Shang Tsung. There was an intro dialogue where Katana says it's like Baraka is like, "Can I be the executioner?" And Katana is like, "Shang Tsung will be executed by Outworld's hand." So they were gonna execute them apparently, but they escaped.
Which is a weird thing to say to Baraka because he is
Yeah.
also an Outworlder.
I know, that's pretty fucked up. He's
That's-
a Denian too.
He's
a Denian,
Adenian,
which means
but that's-
technically part god, because most Adenians like are descended from like gods. So like he.
Who knows what Adenian lore is this time? Actually, I got something very interesting I'll say later on about that. But here's a fun fact. I told you about you can find out even more story for these characters because of the intro dialogues too this time. Normally intro dialogues for the most part they're just like fun what ifs and maybe some character tidbits and story. This time there's so much character interactions because of the story mode that you can get. It's like when you have a fight with Melina, she's already the Empress. So you talk to her as if she's the Empress. When you have a fight with Bihan, he's already betrayed the Earth Realm. He's already and stuff. So even then, it's like you and some of them have arcade mode ending interactions in the intro dialogue. So you can get a lot of information from the intros. Like I just said, Shao Kahn escaped. How did he escape? Bihan helped him. You know that from the intro dialogue. The Lin Kuei helped Shao escape, and that's why they're maybe working together now from these intro dialogues. Here's a fun fact. I still don't know exactly, but like in the Sundew stage, it's like after the ceremony, after the tournament, it's like, oh, we spent all our expensive for this grand tournament, this exciting tournament, because it's gonna be a grand, big old deal and thing. Cool. What was the celebration on the nighttime version of Sundew though? Sundew. It's like, what was that? The tournament's over. Why is there another?
You're right, because our
celebration?
original theory was that it was like her coronation or something, but it's not.
Yeah.
So.
We don't even know what it is. It's like it's just a celebration or something like that. I think it's if you look on the stage details, it's called a Lantern Festival, and if you get an intro dialogue with Raiden and Melina, like Raiden will be like, can I join your next Lantern Festival? And Melina will be like, all tournament victors are welcome at the Shiva Ranatai. So I don't know what that is, but we know what it's called now because of the intro dialogue. So the intro dialogues actually do give a lot of info this time. So I'm gonna be looking it up and noting a lot of them for my videos this time.
There's a bunch of wild ones. Like there's one between Melina and Shao Kahn that reveals that Shao has siblings.
Yeah.
I think
they're
so.
probably
Yeah.
They're disappointed in him. There's Johnny reveals his mother was a cop.
And has her dad either. His dad's dead apparently in that timeline.
Universe. Okay.
He didn't have a dad. Like his dad either died very young or left or something because he was like the father I never had to somebody. And you're like, huh? That's interesting.
Or maybe he
because
just.
Huh? It could just
Maybe
be
he just
built on
disowned
11.
him.
Yeah, it could just be built on 11 where he said Dad was an asshole.
I think
Yeah.
the
Hollywood made it a
opposite.
bigger
I think it's
one.
the opposite.
So
I think they're implying that when Liu Kang separated Johnny from his dad, it made him like a better person. I think is what they're saying. But because otherwise it implies Dad raised him because he's like Dad was an asshole. But that means he still took Dad's advice.
Well-
That's what older Johnny is saying. Middle-aged Johnny, like 20-year-old Johnny, is still with his dad, like on his dad's side. So that implies that he had a big influence on him, actually.
Could be.
So I think it's
Perhaps, but the
opposite.
Johnny and
Sonya
MK1
Blades'
is still.
mom.
Okay.
I just realized that because she's a cop.
Are you saying like
Sonya Blades'
Sonya is the
mom.
sibling or something?
No, Sonya Blade is going to be Johnny Cage's mom. She's going to be really old, like Ronda Rousey style by
Nah,
default.
no.
She's
I
gonna be in
can't
combat
see
back
that
too.
happening. Although they do love doing mother a lot in this. You know what? Never mind.
Mom
So-
combat.
Mommy combat. Mommy combat.
Dun,
That's what I
dun,
said.
dun, dun,
Well,
dun,
there's some
dun,
other
dun,
interesting
dun.
ones. Like Raiden has a brother and a sister apparently.
Yeah, a brother
Well,
too.
the brother is probably Fujin. The sister's
Interesting.
probably Cetrion.
But the thing about the
Oh.
sister is there's a lot of setup for the sister joining them because there's a lot of interactions where like Kung Lao is like, "Can I help Madame Bo set up the test for Raiden's sister?" and stuff like that. There's a lot of that interaction.
There's a sequel to that too.
I bet it's Fujin and Cetrion.
That's a
a-
good theory about Cetrion, actually. That's a very
Yeah,
interesting
that
one.
is. There's a
I
great
always thought it
sequel
was
to
gender
that.
bent Fujin.
Me too. There's a great sequel to that though, because when he says, "Can I help with Raiden's initiation?" He goes, "It's up for Madame Bo to decide." And then if you clash with somebody else, they go, "Madame Bo said no, Kung Lao," and he goes, "No."
I think I remember that. Yeah.
He's like, "Why?"
It's really funny. I really enjoy watching Smoke's intros of characters because
Yeah.
for first
he breaks
off,
characters so much, it's great. Like, he becomes just a normal dude who's like just happy.
he's so wholesome. He's really chill.
I think he's a Johnny Cage fan.
Oh really?
Like,
I'm looking
so-
forward to
so
seeing
was
that.
Trimmer.
Cause
So was
Because
Trimmer.
there are some, because there are some lines that suggest it, which means you could have a funny little matchup where it could be Smoke and Tremor fighting Johnny and Johnny in Cage Manor. like these fanboys,
The fanboys.
these fanboy ninjas broke in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Think about it. Like Smoke's a fan of Johnny Cage. He's the one out of the three who doesn't get to take part in the recruit Johnny Cage thing.
I
He
think
doesn't
wants
get to
to.
go. He doesn't
Wait.
get to go and see his mansion. Oh no!
Oh, that's
Poor
right.
boy.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, you mean at
True.
the end? Yeah.
I bet it was something like, "I will need two of you to accompany me to recruit Johnny Cage." Johnny Cage? I want to go. No, Tomas. You will stay here, you bitch.
Well, it's because he has feelings. He would like ruin the mission with his personal attachment to like Johnny Cage. His parasocial feelings would get in the way.
Yeah.
So we
Luke
can't let
Cage
it
saw that.
happen.
No. Do you see how calm
Tomas,
he was?
We can't have you asking for autographs the entire time. We got to at least kind of present a strong, noble alliance and force. You know?
Oh no! If Tomas was at the mansion and it's like when Biham punches like Johnny, how dare you do that? But my best friend, I'm gonna be your cameo fighter now, Johnny.
Actually, guys, I just realized he's there the whole time. He's just
Oh,
invisible.
haha.
Invisible.
Very funny.
Yep. He's just invisible.
But
He's
yeah.
fanboying the whole time. He's like,
That would have been hilarious if there was an intro where John is like, "So you just popped to my house and brought two ninjas. Two? Are you sure there were only two?" That line just implies Smoke was actually there but invisible.
That would be kind of
or
cute. Yeah.
even better, you could pull one of those Looney Tunes moments where like the whole mansion is actually covered in ninjas, but they're just so good at hiding that they just like come out from behind everything, and Johnny Cage is like, "Oh shit!" There's like literally 30 dudes in here. They're just all
And
really
it
sneaky.
all starts when that vase falls and there's just a ninja behind it, like.
Like in the exact shape of the balls. Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. We never.
I feel bad for Johnny because like some of the intros talk about how he is getting divorced, and even Kenshi's like, "You're not able to get Christina to stay," and he's like, "No, buddy, it's over." And it's like
I
Kenshi's
thought-
looking out for his boy.
Yeah, I thought they did get divorced within the 3 months already. It's like, yep, she's already gone. Sadly.
well, I mean, think about it from her perspective, right? Like she threatens to divorce him, and then he just disappears for like 4 months. She's probably very pissed. So you gotta. Think
I don't
about it
know.
from
Wait.
her
He
perspective.
does have his phone with him, and he has been filming. I would
Yeah.
assume he's been
Still,
posting on
though,
Twitter every day or something like
She
that.
said she
think
wanted John Carlton back, and he just went more Johnny Cage than ever by leaving to a different realm to like learn more martial arts.
And
look,
flirt
I'm
with
not
every
sure-
single lady there.
He might have actually been like staying quiet because he has an intro with Liu Kang where he says, "Can I post these pictures of Outworld on social?" And Liu Kang weirdly says, "Social what, Johnny Cage?"
Yeah,
as if Liu Kang doesn't know what social media is.
Liu Kang is so
He's
old
the
style.
god of Earthrealm.
He's so
if that was like-
boomer.
If it was like Sindel or Katana, perfect sense. Liu Kang is from Earthrealm. He should know what fucking social media is.
He's
Maybe it's just
Ryu.
because-
He doesn't know about how cell phones works. He's the Ryu of the game now.
It's either that or he's like Starfire
Ryu,
and just doesn't
sorry.
understand that particular slang. So he doesn't know that social is short for social media. He's like,
Maybe.
social what? Like, do you mean the internet? Like, you know? It reminds me of that one Doctor Strange scene where it's like, and here's this. He gets a piece of paper and he goes, "What's this, like a mantra?" "No, it's the Wi-Fi password." We're
Oh
not
yeah, I did like
savages.
that moment. That was funny.
And they do have satellite dishes in Feng Jian when you're walking around. Like
They do.
They do have
so
satellite
Feng Jin
dishes.
isn't that
so-
like non what's the word? Non-social.
It's not. It's a farming village. It's not like it's like super rural, like ancient tradition. I mean, they're not even
Yeah.
Shaolin monks.
Like, even like the mountain areas where I live, it's like there's barely any buildings, but you can still get internet there and stuff like that. It's the
I think
21st
one of my favorite-
century.
arcade ladder endings is Ashura's, just because they're
Ah,
really
okay,
selling
yeah.
her being like the goody character. Like she's even now a monk, and she's like, I'm just so happy to have a place and all that.
Yeah.
But I also dislike that ending when I thought about it, because now she's taken away the only way the writers could have like theoretically salvaged Bihan, because him going to the Netherrealm and like freeing her and all that is like a big part of his like journey, and now she's just
Serena.
already freed. Yeah, Serena's already freed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel it also does diminish Serena's arc by saying, she was just mind controlled the whole time. It's like, no.
That is really lame. She was not mind controlled, clearly. Clearly
Well,
not.
unfortunately, yeah. Even for Jataka and Kia, which she unfortunately had to kill, but like,
Yeah, that's wild how like we see Kia and Jataka definitively in the ending of Invasions, where in this other timeline.
It's another
Scorpion's,
timeline,
like, killing
yeah.
them. But and he's like, that's our first glimpse of them, is it? Because I don't think they show up in Ashura's ending.
no, they don't. Well, no, they died. Remember, it's like I had to kill like Jataka and Kia were the first that were sent by Quan Chi, and now I had to kill them because of you, basically.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Ashura, but I really wish they lean more into her old lore, especially for Natara. Natara is just completely fucking ruined, but at least Ashura is kind of
Yeah.
cute with her
Yeah.
character.
I saw a poll today and it broke my heart, because until this game, if you had asked even like the more casual Mortal Kombat fans who just knew of the characters but didn't know their lore that much, and asked them, who do you think was cooler, Ashura or Natara? I feel like 8 out of 10 people would have said Natara, because she's actually distinct, and
Oh,
Ashura just
before
kind
this
of looks
game
like
came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Ashura just looks like Lady Raiden. But now in this new game, I saw a poll, and it's like, who do you like more? And it was like 90% of people prefer Ashura over Natara, and I'm like, damn, it flipped in one game just because one, Natara does
It's their
fuck all, to quote
It's their own
Force
fucking
Snake.
fault, yeah.
And then
It's
also
like,
they made her Megan. How much money did that cost? I'm sorry, I actually like NetherRealm, but how much money did you waste on that? Again,
waste.
like, do you just? I really do feel like they just don't go on social media. The people who make
Yeah.
these decisions, because like, there's no way they saw the severe backlash for Ronda Rousey. And were like, we can do it again. We can do it right. There's no way.
Well, no, the
They
thing
probably
is,
just thought,
it was
right?
very successful for the 95 skins, and it was extremely successful for Kari Hiroyuki, who technically is
yeah.
another.
But that's
like,
because they're actually actors in the movies. These are like fake actors, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, but Megan Fox is hot.
True
That's her thing.
underdog now not standing Megan Fox. What?
Oh no, I'm still happy it happened, because I think she's hot. But
Oh, okay, sure.
like, that voice acting was phoned in, which is weird. I still stand by the fact that I think Megan Fox could have done a good performance. They either caught her on a really bad day where she just did not give a shit to record, or they had a terrible acting coach there to like direct her on her motivation.
You dare! How dare you said the? Okay, I'm raising my hand up because somebody made the exact same defense for her. I think just today or yesterday, I got a comment being like, "It's not Megan's fault." I'm sure that the coaching director
It's
there
partly
sucks.
her. Okay.
It-
Let's just
That was my
establish
ultimate.
up
Let me,
front.
Fuck you.
Snake. Let me finish this. Let me finish this. Snake.
I need to quickly establish.
All right, fair.
When you talk about fault, it's not always just one person who's at fault. Like when you
For
have a
sure,
bad performance,
yeah.
there's a lot that goes into it. Megan does deserve a lot of the blame. She's the one who delivered the lines in that terrible way, okay? You can blame poor direction and whatnot as well. Yes, but you can't act like she's completely faultless when she's the one who delivered the lines worse than me. And I'm a fucking YouTuber.
She delivered the lines worse than AI.
The thing is,
AI
I
could've
saw
done
that
better.
Hunt Down the
comment.
Freeman. Hunt Down the Freeman had better voice deliveries from like Pyrocynical and Keemstar. Jesus Christ.
What the fuck?
I do love Mudahar's post on Twitter. Did they use AI to voice Natara?
I saw that,
Does
yeah.
sound like it.
Okay, but the thing is, when I saw that comment, which also you just mentioned, being like, it could be the coaching director's fault. Motherfucker, it's only her. If it was the coaching director's fault, there would be like multiple characters who sounded cringe and bad. It's only her. Everyone else sounded great. I can't think of one who
Nope,
just sounded
nope.
like mediocre.
Nope, you're wrong.
Okay,
You're wrong. That one day, the coaching director was not there. He got stuck in traffic.
oh sure, yeah. The one day with Megan Fox. Okay, sure. Even Dave Bautista, right? Not Batista. Even Dave Bautista did a good job with his own character
That's
for that little
cheating,
small
though, because they
cameo.
made a
Wait,
character
wait.
specifically for him. It's a guy who lost his kid. That's who he plays in every
Wait,
freaking
They
movie. So he's like
made
used to
sure
that
that-
Tara
shit.
Are
look
you
like
sure that's
Megan
him?
Fox.
He's not credited. He's not in the voice cast credits. Are you sure it was him?
Well, everybody's saying it's him, actually. That's why I was very certain.
I
'Cause
said
it was like, at
maybe
first
they're
it
not
was...
credited.
believing me. I spread
It's
the
not-
lie. It
I
was
saw people
me.
like all over saying that is Dave Bautista. That's why I believed it. But
It
I guess
does
we could
sound
look
just
more
like
into
him.
this then. But if it sounds, that's one thing to sound like him. But like so many people are like claiming it is him. That's why I believed it. So
Mortal Kombat. It's like walks in and whispers it.
true. Yeah,
It's
I'm
reaction
looking
every
so.
time. He's just like,
But yeah, I'm actually. The more I think about Natara, the more pissed I am because like Natara and Asha were one of the 3D era characters. Because Havoc was one of them too, who also got fucking ruined in the story, but we'll get to that later. Natara and Asha are like one of the big ones also that are bringing back into
yeah.
this game.
I mean, technically, Havoc hasn't been ruined. It was Dairu who got ruined. Havoc is yet to show up.
Titan Havoc, here we go, yay.
I had somebody. I heard someone in the comments section. It was pretty funny. I made the video talking about dumb characters and how they could actually be redeemed, and one of them was Dairo. I was like, you think he's dumb until you play him and actually learn about him. Then you're like, oh, and also his outfit's kind of cool, just some tweaking here and there. But he's probably never going to come back. Then you can quote me on that. And someone went, here we are in Mortal Kombat 1, and he's back. And I went, is he really, though, when he goes by Havoc and he looks like Havoc and he plays like Havoc? Like, can you really call it Dairo at that point?
I get what you mean,
It's like saying, it's like if you went, oh, I'm really upset that Kuai Liang's not in this game, and someone goes, well, here we are, Kuai Liang's game. It's Scorpion. It's not Kuai Liang. They call him that, but he is Scorpion. He even has Hanzo's wife in this timeline. Fuck you.
The fact that he has Hanzo's, it's so funny how like the timing's just all wrong. Like Hanzo is like a child, and then Harumi's already like fully grown up. Like it's such
That
a
is-
bizarre.
That's very,
that's the-
yeah.
And
the thing
Shujinko was
about
a kid too, when Shujinko should be miles older than Kung
Like,
Lao. And yeah,
This is the thing about all this stuff is like these weird changes. It's like if it was just a random alternate universe, that's one thing. But Liu Kang specifically made these changes.
Yep.
Why?
I wonder, okay, so there are changes that I actually do think that are good and interesting, but I do wonder how, that one I do find a lot of Scorpion Sub-Zero stands aren't very happy about, is how they're handled. It's like Kwai Dane being Sub-Zero, Bihan being just another generic villain, and then Hanzo being a kid. I think a lot of people were pissed off that Hanzo was just a kid, from what I'm seeing at least.
The thing with Hanzo is that because he's a kid, it means that unless they do another time skip and do here's the new generation, and he's one of the combat kids now, effectively taking Takeda's place, weirdly enough.
Oh, yeah.
Unless they do some, they could do something like that, but then it's like, well, he's part of the Shiryu still. He's probably going to inherit Kuai Liang's abilities somehow, but he's not married to Harumi. Harumi will they still give him a different wife? Like, will he marry Kana and she dies? Will he still have the rage of Scorpion? Or is it going to be another in-name only rendition of the character?
Yeah, I
Don't
really
know.
do think they only. It really does seem like the only reason Harumi is even mentioned by name is because they wanted to shove another Easter egg in there. Because
Yeah.
for
Well,
one, it's-
Harumi is played hugely in the, what do you call it, in the arcade endings, and like,
No, I know.
people
But
are
let me finish. Let me finish
Okay,
here.
sorry.
Okay. Because Liu
Okay.
Kang, if Liu, okay, bitch. So if Liu Kang has ultimate control over everything, then I feel like he would definitely just put Hanzo aside and make him like happy with Harumi on their own. He wouldn't like put them in the drama because Scorpion's whole thing is like constantly being tormented by losing his wife. So they just be somewhere else happy, right? That's like the ideal scenario for Hanzo. He would not make Hanzo a near starving child that just happens to rob Smoke and then gets to join the clan. So like it just doesn't really make sense. But that being said, here's what's going to happen in the sequel. All right.
Oh, okay.
Hanzo is going to come of age. He's still going to be very young, though. We're talking like 18 or something. And he's going to meet a defecting Black Dragon member who goes by Kira. And that's going to be the new
Ooh.
relationship. And that's going to really upset Cobra, who's always had an actual crush on Kira. And now that she's left, he's torn. And he's mad and he's bitter about it.
Very cute.
And that's it. I don't know where to go from there.
I
Who else
thought you
do
were
we
gonna let
know
him go with
missing?
like Frost or something like that. A Shira member and a Lin
I
Kuei
was-
member.
I was gonna make that joke that that Hanzo's gonna fall in love with Frost because he has like a MILF. He's attracted to cougars, I mean. So he likes Frost. He's like,
MILF?
yeah. Maybe she could have a kid. I don't know. I mean, that would be interesting. But
Funny. Well, I mean, Frost might be very young in this version too. We never seen her yet. I can't get into
They
leaks
do.
because there are some leaks about this. But
oh, you're right. She's not
for
in
me,
story mode. Frost is technically one of the non-canon characters, huh?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I think
we
they
get
were
Ice
mentioned that in the
Elemental
Lin.
instead, which is so weird. Like she could have just been his cameo, but oh well. Yeah.
Yeah, Cyrax and Sector are mentioned in the story mode, and you do see them in the arcade ending as humans currently. By the way, last time we recorded our podcast, like, congratulations, Snake, you got that on the note exactly right. And when you mention it, you see in the podcast, you can replay it. You'll be like, yeah, that'd be interesting. Which is maybe the Dragon Army would inspire the Cyberlin Quay. You got that exactly right, and I knew it. I was like, that's an interesting theory there, Snake. Yes, very interesting.
I'm weirdly good at this. I don't know why.
you got a lot of the arcade endings right. That's why I was like, gotta be just watch the arcade ending, Snake.
I will say it makes me a bit upset because there's so many cool things they could do with Bihan in the sequels to make him not a one-dimensional villain. But I just know they're going to take the easy way out and just make him a one-dimensional villain.
I really hope they don't.
Me.
Yeah. The thing is about I'm not really pissed about Kid Hanzo, specifically because I'm not a Scorpion Sub-Zero fan, so do whatever the fuck you want with them. I will say they're not better than previous Sub-Zero and Scorpion, in my opinion. I still think Hanzo and Kuai Ding, Sub-Zero, Scorpion dynamic and what they look like and what they are still better in the NRS stuff. But
MKX was peak
for those two characters.
Because they were, because they finally buried the hatchet and it made kind of sense and it was interesting. And then like they ended it all in 11. It was so stupid. Yeah.
It's like if that happens in this version, it's just going to be Bihan's plans blow up in his face and Hanzo. Kuai Liang's like, Kuai Liang's like, I still forgive you, brother, and that'll be it.
We may share blood. We are brothers, so no May in this.
I laughed really hard at one of the comments because it's actually the opposite. Somebody said, "Man, turning or making Scorpion into like Sub-Zero is totally a Ed Boon thing to do," and I'm like, no, but making Scorpion the definite good guy and Sub-Zero evil is definitely what Ed Boon would do, even subconsciously, because Scorpion's his boy and Sub-Zero is infamously, Tobias's boy. So the idea that like now he's the villain indefinitely and Scorpion's the good guy indefinitely, that's a total Ed Boon.
I just had the most horrifying thought ever. So with Sub-Zero now being in charge of this, he's setting up the Cyber Initiative. You see that in the ending.
Yeah.
What if Noob Cybot now refers to his cybernetic form?
No, I don't see that.
He'll become a Cyber Sub-Zero, but he's going to be called Noob Cybot, and he'll have like a hologram for the shadow attacks, and then he'll maybe convert Smoke and become Noob Smoke. But the main thing is Noob Cybot, like Cyber, is going to be his Cyberlin Quay thing. And I don't know whether it'd fit a good another Sub-Zero in, because you need a classic Sub-Zero. That's proven. That's why they backed down in MKX on Cyber Sub-Zero. But I can see them doing that. It's like, oh yeah, I am not Sub-Zero. I am Noob Cybot.
Yeah,
I don't see them doing that because
he's wearing the mechanical outfit and an explosion happens and covers him in soot, and he's like, I am Noob Cybot.
I don't see that happening because Noob is too...
He'll have like cyber armor, and Scorpion will burn it, and it'll melt into his flesh. It'll go all black. And that's how it becomes Noob Cyberbot.
Not gonna lie, that's kind of badass in that way. I don't see them doing that because Noob Saibot is too popular. Like, too many people love him. It's like, if you want to turn Havoc into Dairu, who cares? You're turning Sub-Zero into Noob Saibot, and it's just a Cyber Sub-Zero. Oh, that's gonna rile people up, honestly.
I mean, you say that, but they turned Sub-Zero into Scorpion, so.
But the thing is, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are in the game. But if Noob Saibot, the guy who uses Shadow Clone jutsus and dark magic, is a cyborg, period, and maybe just a little bit of like magic stuff, that would piss people off. There needs to still be that dark magic. There needs to still be that dark magic character if it's gonna be Noob Saibot. I don't see them not doing that edgy character because people love him. People love Noob Saibot.
Well, maybe they can make it to where he died, but they put his soul inside of a machine, and that's like why he's still undead technically. It'd still be stupid.
His soul would be the cyborg, and his body would be Noob Saibot.
What would be kind of cool and creepy, but like it'd have a lot of dimension to it too. But it'd be so easy to mess up and like hard to actually do. So they're probably not going to do this at all. It's just a fan idea. Mm-hmm. How cool would it be if like when he makes the Cyberlin Quay, which we know is going to happen most likely. If he makes the Cyberlin Quay, what if instead of him just being in control of all of them, their neural network makes like a hive mind instead. And that unironically makes Bihan like a better person. He's still in control, but he like hears all their thoughts simultaneously, and their personalities all kind of merge. And as a result, he comes to the Shirai Ryu and starts like cyberizing them, but not out of malice, but because he wants to merge them with the collective, because it's like a genuinely peaceful way to exist in his mind, to all share a consciousness. And he even wants, of course, he wants most of all his brother. So he's like, Kuai Liang, join us, become one, assimilate. It's so beautiful here. In the mind
interesting. you literally, I can think of 2 shows that have done that like idea, but they're spoilers, so I won't tell you what they are.
It does kind of sound like Ermac, like a direct. Like I'm sure Ermac and Ended that exact
cute.
thing.
But he's a good guy now.
Though. They wouldn't all be one body. They'd be an army still, but they'd have like a hive mind, and that'd be cooler.
It was Ermac's Armageddon ending where he gets split.
You're right.
Like each soul gets its own body, and it's the Ermac Collective or something.
I guess most
That's
accurately,
right.
it's the green ending in Mass Effect is what
Yeah.
what I'm technically implying. But it would be cool for some creepy horror scenes though if like they were a collective, because imagine like Bihan's just sitting in his throne, like partially cyberized or whatever, and they're trying to sneak around, and just one of the guards sees them, and so suddenly Bihan's like, I know where he is, and just gets up all dramatically because they all share the same vision or some shit.
What
That'd
an
be creepy
interesting
as hell.
idea.
And also, it would allow you the character to get killed off over and over again. He just dies.
jumps to a new body.
Yeah.
It's like imagine if Vision didn't get that last Ultron bot in Age of Ultron, and it's like then he just showed up in his sequels like, I'm back.
Yeah,
You didn't get
basically,
me.
yeah.
And it's like that.
I went to
Bihan.
Wi-Fi. I went to the online. The funny thing is, it's like Sub-Zero and Scorpion in the story mode, like because of how predictable the storyline for them is, it was so like boring and generic for me.
Yeah.
Whereas Melina and Kitana, or mostly Melina, was a lot more interesting because they caught me off guard. Like the trailers, like the promotional art, it made it feel like Melina's gonna be evil. It made it feel like Kitana and Melina are gonna have like an agenda against each other and stuff.
Well, what that is because the story mode version of Melina is Tarkat Melina, so she acts and sounds a lot more like she did in MK11, for example.
Yeah.
Whereas in the actual story, she gets it under control. And she's just like a normal person. So there are actually points where Melina almost feels more like she is the Kitana of this timeline than actual Kitana.
I actually think of it that way too. That's how I see Melina too. Is another version of Kitana, yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like Kari Walgren actually played Melina closer to her MK11 Kitana than Kitana. I feel like she tweaked the voice for Kitana a bit, whereas Melina's just straight up Kitana now. It's really weird.
Well, I actually like both their voices because you can see they're the same like voice actress, but a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of differences. But it makes sense because they're twins too, and I do like that aspect.
I just had this thought. If it weren't for the Melina stands going absolutely crazy last time, do you think that the two would have been merged into one character, and then Melina's like her alternate personality when the Tarkat takes over?
No, because
I could see them doing that because it's like if it weren't for Melina stands being like Melina must be in the game, she and Kitana are the Scorpion and Sub-Zero of the women cast or some bullshit. They would have gone like who cares about Melina? It's just another palette swap. She just is Kitana now.
I saw a great meme on Twitter. It's just someone trying to spread wildfire though. It's completely just an idea that's made up and could be real. I think it was Aziz that posted it as a joke. He said, "Wait, Countess Jade is General Shao's wife?"
I saw that, and I was like,
"Stop it! Stop!"
No, and people, there's that meme where it's like me, like giving misinformation all around, the face or something like that, all around. That people will be like, there are so many Jade stands out there who are like, Jade is the best lady character ever, and also fuck Kotal Khan for dating her. Like that's the two sides I keep seeing right now.
They are becoming the new Melina stands of.
Oh yeah,
they're worse according to Ed Boon. That's the funny part.
They're worse according to Ed Boon.
There's a lot of unhinged people in that group.
I don't know if they're worse, but I have noticed that there's a lot more pushback. That's like, we're making a stance this time, Jade stands. We're gonna put the force fire out before it begins. Like I've noticed that basically.
It's funny. Well, I think Ed Boon in the interview said that they're not. He did say it in a very polite Ed Boon way.
He did, yeah.
But he's like, in some ways they're more vocal, or in some ways they're more they're more attention getting than the Melina fans were. And the
Sonya fans.
That's good. It's like
He,
that's fair and to be expected. You know.
Yeah.
Where
He
was I
made a
going?
response
I totally
because
just fucking glitched there. I fucking went full XQC. What was I talking about? Cheeto.
what? Anyways, he was responding to someone who was like bought a billboard, basically saying, you know, Sonya stands or we love Sonya or something like that, and
That's
everyone was like,
awesome.
wow,
Fucking
that's
Sonya
impressive.
stands.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, I gotta do that. Okay, I gotta find some way to somebody took a still image of that giant orb in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And green screened that dude walking with the big booty cheeks. You know that meme?
Yeah.
People thought it was real
Yeah.
for a bit, but if you look at it closely, it's a still photo because the traffic's not moving and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just titled "Someone's Getting Fired," and I was like, "Oh, but it's fake." I want to do that, but with Jade and gaslight people into thinking it's real. Me spreading misinformation.
Yeah, it's actually really funny to think about that, like, out of all the OGs who missed out on the game, it's like, Kano, I sleep. Jax, I sleep. Sonya, how dare you? How dare you, Ed Boon? Did you not think about what the fans want? You're not listening to what we... Okay, cool.
I've seen people complain about that, the percentage of the female roster, and it's like...
Oh, yeah.
It's almost half. Like, it's
Yeah,
not far off half
a
the
lot.
roster are
It's a
women.
third, right? It's like 33%-ish, yeah.
It's almost
I
half.
think it's more than that. Like, it's between...
It's 8 characters,
just-
right?
Especially
Let's
the
just say,
rumors
like,
about
let's say
Cyrax are
2/5.
true.
It's like
Yeah.
it's. I don't know what it is about, like, specifically the women. People get really weird about in this series.
They
I
really,
sure
really
w-
care about them, yes.
Like, I sure wish these weird people who are just like, Melina must be in every game, Jade must be in every game, Sonya must be in every game, could get this fervent about a character who hasn't been seen in like 20 years. Like, where's all the Kira stands saying, bring back Kira, Jesus
Right here,
Christ,
saying-
Ed Boon.
Right here,
Bring
looking at him.
her back. Come on, dog. Let's start the hashtag. Bring back
Kira?
Mortal Kira.
There
Mortal
is-
Kira.
it's very-
Sonic,
it's very
get all
little.
your fan artists to start commissioning all of the Kira artwork, but it's going to be around her coming back. Like artwork of her being like,
You
on
don't-
my way to Mortal Kombat 1 roster.
doing
You don't
doing Sonya's
understand
moves.
my powers as...
That's it. Do you know how she had Kano and Kano and Sonya's moves? Do that again. Like, she just has their moves straight up from the game, and he's like, well, they're not, and it's like, they're not using them. And it's like, I just antagonize the Sonya stands.
Yeah, she totally could.
That's a good one.
Funny.
But you gotta understand, you see, I don't have influences on just random ass, like, normie characters like Kira. It's gotta be weird, ugly, obscure characters that I can
Me.
get, like, sexy fan arts. Like me, Moloch, Drawman. Yeah, I'll do a Drawman sexy fan art and it'll get 1,000 likes somehow. That's my influencing powers, okay?
And I'm still kind of mad that Meat's not in the game because Ed Boon did 100% imply that he would be in the game, and then he just wasn't there. So
The way of implying it is sort of like saying, you know, the President Reptile will come to dinner tonight. True or false? Oh, that means Reptile's gonna be president. No, it didn't. That was a very dumb hypothetical. That's sort of how I saw that Meat question too.
No, that's not fair. You're comparing apples to pineapples there, okay? So that's more accurate to say it'd be like it would be like if damn it, it would be like if Ed Boon said, true or false, Drawman is a really strong character in Mortal Kombat 1. That still implies Drawman's in the game. It's just, is he strong or not? That's the true or false.
If it's false, then
it's like saying true or false. Dairu is a really strong character in Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh!
And he's like, I mean, where's the lie, guys? And it's
Cobra
like,
and Kira is such a good idea, though, because like that would be a cameo partnership knocked out of the park. Like one of them is main character, one's cameo, and it would like work perfectly because they're inseparable. Like you can't really have Cobra without Kira. So
Maybe. The this is kind of off topic, but I'm still kind of pissed. Not pissed, but like I'm a little disappointed that we keep complaining about the pyramid in this episode. So I'm gonna bring one last thing up. That final boss, I really wish they did more with that, honestly, because it's just Shang Tsung and Quan Chi cameo. Quan Chi as a cameo is used so much in the story mode that he should literally just be a cameo fighter. At this point, make him a cameo fighter, especially because he's at that like that pyramid. He even has an intro like animation because like in the pyramid, it's like you see Shang Tsung doing the Shang Tsung pose. You see Quan Chi doing a special intro pose that you can only get because he's specifically the cameo fighter there. And then also, literally, Shang Tsung is nerfed. He never turns young. He only stays in his old. He only stays in young form, right? In that mode. That's like a nerfed version of Shang Tsung. Then
you know what would have been
could
fun?
have at least made him boss version like MK9, where he keeps changing into everybody. Yeah.
Oh, such a good
Alternatively,
point. Yeah.
What if during the fight you would morph into Quan Chi then he's basically got both movesets.
Anything like that, yeah. Honestly, I
Oh
don't
my
think
God,
he can
can you
morph.
imagine how
morph, I
great it
think.
would have been if like you fight Shang Tsung once, but then for the big final battle they pull a fucking Tekken 3 where he grabs Quan Chi by the throat, lifts him up, and like steals Quan Chi's soul, and then he's like, "Argh!" and like becomes like the super like
Shake
deadly
Quan
alliance.
Chi.
But dog. What would Shang Tsung get from taking Quan Chi's power when literally everything Quan Chi has ever had came directly from Shang Tsung?
You're not wrong. I guess at minimum it makes him twice as powerful then, which is a
I mean,
He
scary
would
thought
have the
upon itself.
necromancy skull shenanigans.
Honestly, that they could
already
have set
shoots
that
fire
up in the
skulls.
story. Because in the story, when the good Shang Tsung and Quan Chi show up and
Yeah.
fight them, which is a really cool bit, they get
Yeah.
the souls taken by Quan Chi and Shang Tsung.
Yeah, they
Imagine
do.
if,
Oh my
Forgot
gosh,
about
Quan Chi
that.
steals his soul. I forgot about that. Yeah.
do they take the counterpart souls or the other one's souls? Because if they had Shang Tsung take Quan Chi's and Quan Chi take Shang Tsung's, you could have had both of them with the other's abilities
Yeah.
as a thing for the final boss fight.
Yeah, it's just they really needed to like change that up a bit at the end. I really, yeah.
Oh, and then if you lose to them, they do a special fatality where Shang Tsung rips your leg off, whacks you in the face with it, and then like Quan Chi like rips the other leg off, whacks you with it, and they both just like whack-a-mole on you with both
Oh,
your
that's
legs.
so good. Why is there
Yeah.
no combination fatalities? That'd be so awesome.
Yeah, like it could be like Sub-Zero and Frost, or Sub-Zero and Sub-Zero, just like put you in, like a super deep freeze, or it's like the cameo like freezes the area and it's like a blizzard. The character's like slowly starting to freeze over, and like Bihan, you know, like when that shot where Bihan's just in the blizzard walking out, and he comes up behind the opponent, like rips the head off, and it's like a cool little combination like that. Or Kung Lao.
What do you call it?
The two Kung Laos like both throw their hats and then catch each other's hats, walk over, the opponent splits in two, and they put the hats on each other.
I just thought of when you were talking about the Sub-Zero one, I was thinking they're freezing up Sub-Zero. Oh, he's about to get frozen, and then Scorpion like starts melting the top part of him, so it's like like up top and bottom like that.
I mean, at bare minimum, there could have been generic dual fatalities where like anyone can do it. Like your cameo walks up and grabs their legs, the main character grabs their arms, and they start pulling. And the person's like, oh, gets like torn in half. You know, little basic stuff like that could have been fun.
Yeah.
That's a Noob
But-
Saiba one, right?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
Noob
Noob
Saiba
Saiba's
grabs
the
one
other
of
way
each
around.
leg. Can
Yeah,
you
that's a
imagine how
really
great it
messed
would have
up
been?
one.
Since that pyramid sequence is all pure fan fiction and goofiness anyway, it would have been so funny if two Quan Chi characters were fighting like Snake said, but they both grab each other's leg instinctively and both rip one leg off and just start dueling on one leg with the leg as a weapon.
I mean, they do dumber things like that, like where the three Johnnies fucking fall down into the
just
chasm of his
Yeah,
eyes.
the silly moments like that, totally. You know what? Maybe like, because like I'm assuming my Armageddon video will be like out like no, I meant like the pyramid part in MK1, not an Armageddon video. The pyramid part in MK1 like video will come out like a year from now, and I should ask a bunch of these fan fictions, be like, what kind of funny shenanigans could happen? Like that Quan Chi one sounds very funny. Could just get a bunch of like submissions and stuff like that. Just
Yep.
make a really funny and interesting scenario happen in that scene and whatnot.
It's also too bad that we didn't get a reference to one of the funniest things in the Armageddon opening, which was when they're running up the pyramid. Johnny Cage just goes, bitch, to Sonya, and she goes, ah! Just fucking falls.
Oh, that's.
Yeah. They could have referenced
Wait.
that
Are
just
you
for
talking
fun.
about the Striker pushes Melina away in the beginning of the Armageddon?
Like strike. No. As they're going up the pyramid in the background, if you watch closely, Johnny Cage just nudges Sonya into the abyss. Like she just falls off.
Oh,
the pyramid.
really? I guess I didn't notice that.
Yeah, which is
is
weird because
hilarious
they're both
because-
good, but I guess it implies they're just both so hungry for the Onaga blessing. I
Yeah,
mean, sorry, the
and it's
Blaze
like,
blessing.
Oh,
it's just funny
wait.
to
In
think
Armageddon,
the-
not MK1 Armageddon.
No,
Just the
the
regular.
actual Armageddon.
Gotcha.
The actual in the intro, yeah. It's just funny to think that because like the next time we see those two interact, it's Johnny's hitting on her and they end up getting married, and it's like,
Does she know? Does she know?
Does she know? That's right. The meme. Does she know?
It's also extremely out of
You-
character because that's like the best version of Johnny in terms of like his heroic stature. Because like isn't he like building the Earth
Oh.
Defense Force in the background and stuff in like those three games?
yeah, he's the one
Yeah.
who brings the heroes together in Armageddon.
Yeah. So he's the one least likely to do that. I do love the striker punch though. That one's always been funny
That's
to me.
really funny.
Yeah, just punches.
It feels like it's an attempt to help Stryker get over with the fans, given this hilarious moment where it's just like. But it's a good thing they did it back then, because if they did that now, how much backlash would Stryker get from the Melina stands? He'd be like, how could he punch our queen?
Here's the thing, though.
He would get backlash from just Twitter stands who think it's inappropriate to do anything, even if the woman's evil. Like, they'll still think that it's like so wrong. Like, oh my god, I can't believe people still won't shut up about Marduk carrying away Anna and his ending and going, I always get what I want, ignoring the fact that Anna is a mass murdering like serial killer. But yeah.
To be fair though, there's a lot of men who beat the fuck out of women in the story mode.
And Marduk's evil, so he would do that. It's in character. But I'm saying, like, people in modern day, don't forget there's that whole, I don't know if you know about this, Sonic, but there was a big outcry over this billboard for one of the X-Men movies because it showed the main villain. I think his name is Apocalypse or something.
Okay, that one. What happened
showed
here?
the main villain, and he's choking Mystique on the billboard because he's a villain, and it has the title of the movie. And some person went really viral being like, my daughter saw this and said, Mommy, why is that man choking that woman? And I said, you're right, honey. How do the children know better than we do? And it's like, he's fucking evil! What do you mean, why is he doing it? Because he's
no one
bad.
would give a shit
That
if it's
man,
like
and
choking
it's
that
like-
man would
and
go
it's
up to a
like-
baby's
and
crib and start punching you in the fucking face. This guy's evil, okay?
I refuse to believe that any child would look at that billboard and their first
know.
thought would be, that's a man choking a woman. They would think the bad guy is choking this person.
Yes.
Like, that's what they would think. Like, kids don't think the way stupid adults do.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
It's like that
I'm
scene
sorry,
in
woman.
South Park.
Well, sorry, woman. I bet your child doesn't even exist. You bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck you. This was like
the
10
woke
years ago. I
8-year-old
don't
meme.
care. I'm still salty about it.
Wow.
Shut that woman
Yeah,
up.
it was 10 years.
She has bad opinions.
Shut that woman up. She has bad
Set that
opinions, yeah.
10 years ago woman up. Shoot!
it, Snake, you
You
reminded
forgot.
me.
We got on this SJW political rant. I forgot what I was gonna say.
People being evil, punching Melina in the
Something
face with Stryker, and
pyramid.
something had happened then.
Okay, I remember now. Yes, you said they're not complaining about that because it was like 10 years ago. There was a tweet that, okay, this is a joke tweet. There was like, what vendetta does Stryker have against like Melina or something like that? Because like in one of the trailers, I think it was the Reptile one, you see like Reptile perform his fatal blow, and it was Stryker performing the onto Melina, and it's like, what vendetta does Stryker have against Melina? So they got brought up again.
You could also use that meme that you love to use, Sonic, where it's like, friend or foe? Foe. Dressed like that? Definitely foe. And his punches her like he just knows instinctively Melina's bad. Just 'cause she's
That's
dressed
right.
really slutty.
It was those three clips. It was the Armageddon. It was the MK9. It's like Stryker beats up Melina, and then it was the trailer where Reptile, where like he does the taser onto Melina. Yeah, that's right. Arcade endings. Do you guys have anything else you
which
want to
one-
say about that?
I wanted to ask for a while. Which arcade ending was your favorites?
Let me think about that for a second. I don't want to just be obvious and say Reptile because I really want to think about this.
It is a shame, I think, that Melina's and Baraka's are the same ending, just
Sort
from a
of.
slightly different perspective. It's the exact same events.
Yeah.
We don't even get new insights in a different one. It's just
You know, I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull up
Same
the endings
events.
just to make sure. Let me see.
And I get they want the arcade endings to be mostly canon. They're going to try and carry those forward, which is why they can't be too outlandish. But I would have liked at least one arcade ending to have shocked me. Like, oh, I didn't think they're going to go that angle.
Oh,
you know?
You think so?
None of them really
Okay.
did.
definitely get Geras' ending before you get Liu Kang's, because Liu Kang's ending just gives you exactly what happens in Geras'.
Yeah.
But with Geras, might as well not even have an ending.
Oh,
Why
the
is he in this fucking game?
The Geras ending, I just laughed so hard at one part about it. Let me see, because in the Geras ending, you will, and also technically the Liu Kang ending, but at that scene in Geras, when you see that he becomes the next like timekeeper, you see in the background, it's like all the alternate universes and what's going on, and it's literally MK11, MKX, and MK9 footage. Like you just see, MK9 Shao Kahn in one of the portals, MKX like Cassie, and straight up, just one of the portals, you just see Melina kissing Devora. It's just that scene in one of the
Is it?
portals. Yes,
Oh,
it's just straight up. They just
no.
referenced that. I'm like, really, Geras? Out of all the things you're looking at, it just had to be that moment. I'll send it right now. It's just
He's feverishly masturbating.
the very back. It's just look at the very back one. It's straight up. It's just like the Melina kissing Devora. Just okay. That's the reference you want to go with about MKX.
Yeah, it is. That's just.
It is right. Out of all the ones, you had to pick that one.
He noticed Melina and Tanya's little moment during the battle at the young fortress. He's like, damn, that got me thinking about the old days.
You know,
Yeah.
it's, now, okay, real minor thing. Don't make it a whole journey of conversation, but I do find it funny how one of Tanya's intro dialogues is her talking to Liu Kang and saying, "I looked different in a previous timeline," and he goes,
"Oh, really?
You could say that."
Wait,
which
was
says,
it
"I
really
different in a previous timeline?" And he goes, "You could say that," and I'm like, I really wish someone had just had the balls in NetherRealm to be like, "Wait, I wasn't black." Like, just have a really.
Oh
surprised.
my gosh!
Like,
Is
what?
there really an intro dialogue where they say that though? That is there?
Yes. Yeah, there's a ton of dialogue.
Interesting.
Well, a lot of characters ask about their past timelines too, Liu Kang. It's a
Yeah,
very
yeah.
common, like, intro dialogue.
Okay. Here's the thing. Jade stands. I will give you Jade in the game as long as we get one intro where she's spoken to Liu Kang about past timelines, and a comment is made about how there's a bunch of timelines where she has way lighter skin, where she's white or Asian instead of black, and they acknowledge that. Kind of like how when Shiva and Scarlet have a line where they reference like Shao Kahn don't have green blood, and it's like, oh, maybe that was a different timeline then. I want to see Jade just be like, "What do you mean I was white? What?"
I think
the
it'd be
mobile
more
game,
funny
you
if
say.
she references that she was Asian, because that actually happened.
Or Ermac is like, "We were black once. Can we say the N-word?"
Okay,
just go ham.
So when you mentioned like favorite endings, I think I don't really hate. I only kind of dislike one, but I don't really hate any of them.
Same.
In terms of ones I like, I actually do kind of like Harumi stuff. But I mean, because like I said, I don't really care too much about how they change up Scorpion and Sub-Zero, because I'm not a stan of them. So it's like, okay, sure, do what they're doing there seems more interesting than what they did in the story mode, in my opinion. Just like forming the shit out of you.
Yeah, because they have nothing. I mean, the fact that you could honestly cut the Scorpion and Sub-Zero chapters, and like, other than the establishment of that, you know, the fact they have the divide and the establishment of the army, I don't think anything would actually change. It's so pointless. It honestly feels like a DLC chapters that were just inserted into the story unceremoniously.
It's like, why don't the Lin Kuei actually join like the characters in Chapter 2 on their mission? What were they doing then? They literally were like, "We're sitting around doing nothing." Man, it's like, you're assassins. Why didn't Liu Kang send you guys against to catch Shang Tsung?
Yeah,
You know, if you really think about it. That's why Snake, you made that debate being like, okay, so while the second act, while Johnny and Kenshi were doing their mission, Sub-Zero and Lin Kuei were handling the stuff in the Ying Fortress. That was going on at the same time. Nope, it was afterwards.
Yeah, that was my prediction, because that just makes way more sense. And especially, I mean, the thing is, even though it's two chapters that lead one into the other, the fact that they get captured gives you a good excuse to have them be absent for a while. Like, they do this thing early on, they get captured, Liu Kang's like, "I don't know what happened, I'm gonna have to look into this. So while that's going on, I need you guys to go to Outworld," because the Lin Kuei have lost contact with them, or they've gone radio silent, as they do, because that's their thing. So I need to wait for word from them, but this is urgent, you guys need to go. Instead of just being like, "I'm just not going to send my Lin Kuei." Which is like why send three of your fighters who were there at the tournament, everyone saw them, when you could send the three guys who never went to Outworld that no one recognizes? Like, who's going to see a guy with ice or fire powers and think that's an Earthrealmer?
You're forgetting Smoke, who can turn invisible completely.
Yeah.
And would be the perfect man for the job. Not to mention, even bigger plot hole, even bigger one. During gameplay, at least, Liu Kang can teleport. Doesn't go very far, but we know he can do it. And there's no obvious limit on it, so Liu Kang could literally have gone into Outworld, poof, poof, into the lab. Yep, that's some shit. Kind of thought he might be doing this. Poof, teleports to Sindel. "Hey, Sindel, look what I found." Scrolls through like his phone photos, and she's like, "What? First off, what is that device?" "Oh, it's a cell phone." But this is all stuff that
Here are his
Shang Tsung
private
is doing.
DMs. Here's his leaked group chat here.
He's been messaging minors, as you can see. Shang Tsung's all kind of messed up.
No. He's going through his phone. He's like, "Why is there a picture of your penis?" He's like, "Oh, sorry, I sent that to Katana."
I'm sorry, my daughter, Katana? Excuse me?
Yeah, I broke into Shang Tsung's room, and like, he has tons of drawings of just reptile posing naked. He's made that man do a lot of horrible things.
I have a joke
We don't have
in my
photos, so we
video.
have to draw it.
Because in like 2 hours from now, my gameplay video will be up. But one of the jokes I had was like, I think Gearus once said it's like this mysterious lady has been like training and grooming Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, like to be like what they can do. And I said like, actually grooming probably, because technically speaking, this like Chronica or this Titan Shang has been alive for eons, so it's actually grooming, technically speaking.
That's weird to think he's grooming himself.
Well, keep in mind the word grooming just means like to condition. But yeah.
And I'm making it more like a joke.
It's one of those where like here's an ultra specific version of this thing, and that's become what the default meaning is of the broader thing.
Yeah. Okay, but I was making more of a joke about that. So in terms of endings, I really did like, because do you guys want to start with my one I didn't like or the one that I did like? Because I can just.
Let's start negative. Then
I didn't ask about which one you don't like, Sonic. You're failing the assignment.
Yes.
I asked which one you like, but no, I'm kidding. Do whatever one you want.
Actually, before we get into that, there's one question I want to ask Dog, because in your review, or you were talking about potential characters we can get.
Stay on topic.
Because
Okay,
we're on
ahead.
the arcade endings. We're on the arcade endings. But you had a part in your video where you were talking about like, based off these endings, we can tell that like Shujinko and the intros, we can talk about like Jade will be a playable character and stuff like that. You said like possibly 80% of the endings are like canon. So what would you think do you think is not canon in the endings?
The Onaga bullshit.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think setting up Onaga is gonna be done?
It could be done, but it's not going to be done in that manner because, for one, he looks identical to old school Onaga, which means it's most likely just an Easter egg. If they give him a new design or something, it would have been cool. Like, if Onaga had just been a dude walking around and they'd been like, this man has untold power that he's hiding. Like, that would have been interesting. Or they could have even had, like, a regular looking dude just wearing a lot of clothing and be like, this man's name was Onaga. Even Shujinko in Kung Lao's ending is like implied to be a different type of Shujinko because he's young still and he has arrogance about him. That would have been my favorite ending if he did not get turned good again and brainwashed. I want him to just be evil and roaming the world. That sounds super interesting to me. He's just learning more powers more and more, and it could be implied that like at some point he's gonna come back and this motherfucker is gonna have like 1,000 abilities.
Interesting idea. The Onaga ending actually is also again referenced a lot in the intro dialogues. You see Shao straight up telling Shang, "I don't need you now that I have Onaga," and stuff like that. Or Reiko being like, "Yeah, any advice on me going against Onaga?" So it's like seems like something they're setting up. Well, I'm gonna guess it's like they did that, but it's like a Dark Raiden from MK11. It's like, who cares? It's so unimportant. We're not gonna reference it or something like that.
I feel like if they were going to do Onaga, it wouldn't be like a thing they set up in an ending or something. I feel like that would be like a proper thing you would introduce fully as a story.
You'd think, but straight up he's there in the endings and stuff like that. Like, I don't know.
I also don't think Rain's ending is canon either because doesn't seem
I think it's very...
Rain's is one of the best ones.
Rain and Havoc are very canon,
he's just like, ha ha ha, I have murdered
fuck your reality.
thousands of people.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sad now.
Why would he do
Arrest
that?
me.
It's not in character at all.
True Underdog. The two biggest betrayers in MK, Tanya and Rain, getting redemptions. I think that's what they're going with.
It's the fact that it's a different Rain. Like if it
no,
11 Rain, I totally believe it. But like he floods an entire fucking realm. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
I think they even mention that they're fascists because that's everyone's favorite buzzword lately. Like, oh, just because they believe in order, they're fascists. Great. Yeah.
They don't use the word fascist, but they do describe it in that kind of manner.
I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still
in one of his intro dialogues. I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still considered a bad thing that that what they did. They just killed all the people in Order Realm. There's an intro.
Yeah.
There's a lot of intro dialogues talking about Sato being destroyed by like Rain.
No. It's Sido now.
Oh, Sido. What do they call the people? Sidons or something? I remember they say that's what they're called. But yeah,
I mean,
they mentioned there
I
are.
just watched oh, never mind.
There are so many intro dialogues talking about that Saito got destroyed. Yeah. What are we gonna do? And like, so that, even though I thought I was like, oh yeah, that Saito getting destroyed seems way too out of like character or way too big of a deal.
No, don't start calling it Sido. Call it Sado. Do it right.
It's out of character.
Did you just
also,
taking the piss?
I don't think Rain's that powerful.
I'm taking the piss.
Okay.
I don't think
I'm
Rain
being
can do that.
serious.
Also, wait,
Order
I thought
Realm.
Sato was wait, how the fuck did he flood Sato? Isn't Sato a floating city in the sky?
Not in this
establish
timeline.
that?
You can see in the arcade ending, it's like
Fuck you. That's like saying, oh, Netherrealm's not in hell anymore. La-di-ta-da. Fuck you. It's the Sky Realm. Eat shit. Whoever made that change, go stub your big toe right now.
Oh my gosh, is TrueUnderDawg actually taking a piss on NRS? Oh.
No, I must crawl up their ass. Wait, give me a second.
Wait, what?
I gotta.
Actually, I want to mention watching your playthrough, because you did mention like the only time you got mad in your playthrough was the Sindel part, and when I got to that scene, it's like you were very like happy la-di-la-da, making fun of things, and when that happens, like they would not do that. It's like you literally turn into your other persona, being like, the writers cannot be so much up their ass up to this. It's like you completely changed a person for like a whole minute or two after that.
I think is what I said, but their hubris can't be this strong.
Yeah.
They are unaware that everyone hates this moment.
Oh, fun fact, by the way, about since we're talking about Sado. Okay, Sado. One of the intro dialogues, I think Havoc straight up asks Katana like, "Give me Hotaru," and Katana is like, "We will not give Order Realm like refugees to you," or something like that. So Hotaru will probably survive then, as that's the implication there. A little bit of a tidbit interesting there. Okay,
Bro,
now
I can't wait for Mortal Kombat 2 when like it's revealed that General Shao took in all those Order Realm refugees and then gave them the right to vote, so they would give him the election.
give them the right to vote. That's all. I
That's
right.
stunningly
Oh, yeah.
accurate for modern day NetherRealm. That's crazy that you guys made it to incorporate.
I can't wait for Havoc to show up, Hotaru to show up, and he's just a one-dimensional fascist, like frothing at the mouth like a Disney era like stormtrooper villain. He's just like, and he's like borderline doing that. The Order Realm has a salute.
Oh.
It's kind of like the Hydra one, but it's like not quite that. It's like you see what they're going for, but it's a little subtle. By which I mean, it's not literally doing the exact thing, but it's something similar.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and he's just like frothing about like, freedom. You want freedom? I give you security. And it's like it was so
Has a
so
symbol on his
Freedom
chest
is a
that looks
myth.
oddly similar to a swastika. And
No,
it's just like
the logo is just on his shoulder, and like another one go no. See, that's a military patch. The military puts it like that, and it's like that's true, but that's clearly not what you were going for.
Also,
Everyone knows what you were going for.
there's subtle references that are just not quite on the nose, but pretty on the nose. Like maybe one of the characters goes, "When did you get like this, Hotaru? What happened to the aspiring artist?"
Oh, no.
So, anyways, endings I did not like.
Colors right. This painting is too anarchistic. The colors keep blending. They won't stay in their spot. Ah!
So, funny enough, we did actually sort of mention the only ending that I wasn't a big fan of, and it was the Kung Lao one, actually. Not necessarily because of Shujinko and all that kind of stuff. I just think it's kind of sad that Kung Lao trained Shujinko to become evil, and then now he feels really bad about it. It just kind of puts a bit of a dirt on Kung Lao's character, in my opinion, because okay, he's arrogant, but would he be that arrogant to make Shujinko like evil and all that kind of stuff? That part kind of like made me feel
masculinity is evil in today's day and age. Even like very modest masculinity, like what Kung Lao has, where he's just arrogant. Yeah, you must be humble at all times. You can never ever be into yourself, otherwise you are evil. That's the pass.
That's sort of what I think about like Kung Lao being like, okay, yeah, he's arrogant, but like he's still a good guy. It's like I don't see how training Shujinko would literally turn him into like that kind of situation. I get it's an interesting concept. Like I actually really love the idea you made, Dog, about like Shujinko just being evil out there. But like, I just think this kind of puts a bit of a dent into Kung Lao. I just be like, And
it's so weird that NetherRealm dropped the ball, because even in his own Armageddon ending, Shujinko becomes drunk with power and becomes evil. So if Shujinko is not guided, he just can become evil for whatever. It's like part of his personality. Like, so NetherRealm could have just had him be evil because there was no like world-ending threat that he had to rise to defeat, and therefore he just inevitably became bad, because that's what happened in Armageddon. So like,
that's what happened to Bihan. Haha.
Why'd you gotta drag? Oh, we lost Snake. Why you gotta drag?
Snake is here. I see Snake.
Oh,
Yeah, he's okay.
I see a black screen. I guess it's my fault.
Can you hear him?
Oh yeah, I can hear him.
Hello?
I could hear him the whole time.
Okay.
He was getting a bit glitchy and freezing, which made me sad.
Once in a while, yeah.
I
Discord's
feel like
weird
the
today.
visual element is a big part of conversation, and I couldn't see his expression.
Indeed,
But it's all good.
It was very sad that one time where Snake only got to use his phone to record. That was a very sad day. We didn't get to see him do the funny hand-raising part.
Yeah, we didn't get to see him do his trademark gang signs that Snake is known for. Darn. He's like, what's
But- okay, but actually, what are
Well-
any endings you guys dislike from the arcade endings?
I dislike Melina's because it's just the same as Baraka's, basically. And I feel like Melina should have had a bit more going on about ascending the throne and how the Tarkat is perceived by the Outworlders. Like, leave the specific focus on the colony to Baraka's ending, give her something different.
Perhaps
Geras'
they
ending-
didn't they kind of just say like she revealed the Tarkat to the people and it made her stronger. It made it be like, oh, she's honest about that.
I'm right to rule. Yeah.
Then you have Geras' ending, which is just just Liu Kang's ending again.
Sort
basically.
of, yeah,
Fair.
basically. So you're saying you don't like these endings because they do it again, but you're not hating too much on the fact. Okay.
Because it's not like it's this event from different perspectives. It's the same thing, just a different character is telling you about it. You don't get any new. If you get one ending, you don't get any new insight from the other one.
Sort of. Their insights are about the same. Like Baraka just says like, oh, they care for me now. I guess that's better than how it was. And Melina is like, we're gonna care for them. My mom actually ignored this. How dare she? And I'm gonna reveal my Tarkat, basically. So it's a little bit different, but the events are the same. Yeah.
I feel like you could have found other options. Like, I mean, we still don't really know who. Like, okay, so we know about the corruption within the
Umgadi.
Yeah, but we still don't know who killed.
We
Jared.
still don't know. Yeah, I thought we would know from the arcade ending. Yeah.
Even though Jared is around and he could just tell us.
I have
Yeah,
to assume. I
think
have
the
to
council
assume.
as a whole wanted him dead, right? Like the Umgadi as a whole,
Oh,
or like the people above
perhaps.
them. Yeah.
But I feel like they could have had that be the focus from Melina's ending, just like to give her something a bit more
Countess
specific
Jade.
and personal.
Countess J.
It was her
Yeah,
idea.
there's a lot they could have done just to make them a bit different.
May-
I don't think
maybe Jared doesn't even know who killed him, but he knew
Possibly.
it wasn't like Lee May, and that's what the implication was.
And another thing that is kind of funny is in Garrus' ending, you see Dark Raiden during the battle. I think it's Garrus' ending.
Yeah.
Well, it's someone's, and you see Dark Raiden, and he's like, his lightning is blue.
Let me see. Wait, what?
Yeah, I think it's Garrus' ending. Dark Raiden has blue lightning.
Not Garrus' ending, because Garrus' ending only has two. Wait,
To be
is it?
fair, the red lightning was always stupid anyway, because being like lightning doesn't have a color anyway. It's just white.
I see
Yeah,
it.
sure,
I
it's
see
cool.
it. Yep. Maybe it's a dark Raiden, but he's only wearing the dark Raiden costume version of Raiden. I don't
He's
know.
cosplaying.
Well,
I
the
see
other
it.
thing, the other thing about Raiden is that in his ending, he's like, well, I saw my potential, my god self, and how
Yeah.
cool and badass he was. I want to be more like him. So I need to learn to be less of a nice guy and
Yeah.
be more of a stone cold badass. So I need to find someone who knows about letting out their emotions and rage. I'm gonna go to Scorpion, and it's like, this is Kuai Liang. He isn't like Hanzo. They don't have the same personality type. He's not the vengeful type.
Huh.
He's a lot more cool.
You know, I
so
like-
why would he think to go to Kuai Liang?
You know, I liked Raiden's ending until you talked about it like that. Now that you make a good point there. It's like, this isn't like Netherrealm Scorpion. This is just a Scorpion who knows like fire magic.
This ain't your granddad's Scorpion.
And so then we see it's like, and how does he help Raiden tap into his like
just
inner
burns
power?
him.
Just sets him on fire. And like that. Really?
That's your might.
I'm sure that's a what do you call? I'm sure that's a very simplified version of the training. I'm sure.
Imagine like
I
Liu
think-
Kang. Liu Kang sees that training. He sees the fire mixing with electricity and just gets PTSD to how he fucking got killed by Raiden.
I feel like Raiden's ending should have been more about like what it could have been like. I was trying to figure out how to tap into my inner power, and then I got word that
My
General
counterpart.
General Shao sent people to kidnap my brother and sister. To lure me out, and then we see Fujin and maybe Cetrion, and he's like, and in my rage, I unleashed power. We see him with the red lightning, and it's like, I need to get this shit under control. This was a bad idea. Just
That's a
something.
good way of putting it. Yeah. Because I like the idea of Raiden like tapping into that power, because throughout the entire story mode, I slightly like Raiden the more I think about it, but he really is a goody two shoe like generic hero. But
Yeah.
like I see him as like a role model, and at the same time I kind of see him as like this, because we just keep seeing Liu Kang constantly get corrupted or constantly get like this like thing.
I mean, you say that, but Raiden is exactly the same. He always goes dark, and then this ending is about the fact that he's like, I need to tap into this power. That I know he's inspired by the god Raiden, but he talks specifically about how that Raiden always got corrupted. It's like, I could do with a little of that corruption myself, and it's like he's going for it.
He's going.
For
but I mean, at least this
angle.
entire story mode, like, he was just like good, basically. So it's like, okay, we don't really see that for Liu Kang. So I guess
I already thought of a way more interesting ending than what they gave Raiden. Just popped into my head. What if like his ending is like, I was training with the medallion and mastering my lightning powers until one day it just absorbed into my body. I didn't understand what was happening, so I went to Liu Kang and he revealed to me that the power was always mine from a different timeline in the past. And it's like, I now know where I come from, and it's like a burden to aspire to that great man who once was, but like, I'll do my best to rise to the challenge or something, that could have been cool. Or,
that is
something edgier, but
that is a very interesting thing about Raiden this time. Like, his powers just come from that medallion, right? Technically speaking.
Here's another one you could have. Is like I was training with the amulet, and then suddenly I was overcome with visions of another time, another place, and it's like horrible things are going to happen in the future, and like I sent visions to myself.
Oh my god!
It could just be the amulet gives him visions of past timelines, or it could be, I saw a great dragon and a cleric of chaos and an invasion of a fiery hell spectre, and it's like setting up all the future content. Raiden's having visions, and he's like, I need to stop these
No.
things.
He has to reference the "he must win" line. Be like, and I hear he must win. What does that mean?
I was gonna say that. Damn it! I was gonna say like, I've been having so many nightmares lately. I've been telling Liu Kang, but there's one I'm afraid to. He must win.
Here's the closing line. The closing line is, I need to understand this vision. I must consult with Lord Liu Kang.
That's right. He never says that. No. And the Elder Gods do exist this time. Okay, we've been very negative towards the arc. Goodness gracious, this is supposed to be a positive episode. I was going to title this episode "Arcade Endurance." Okay, fine. Sorry about that. Very sorry.
Why is Jackson FBI agent, and why is the FBI the Men in Black?
Yep, that's true.
That was going to be my positive one.
Also, I need to comment on this because it fucks me off, right?
Okay.
Why is it called the Outworld Investigation Agency? It's always been the Outer World Investigation Agency because they're going after other realms, other worlds, not just one world. And it's been called that since 1995.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that.
Why are you calling it Outworld Investigation Agency now, you fucking cowards? You chuckle fucks.
They want to make it easier for the newer fans to understand.
They're afraid of getting sued by the Outer World's copyrighted name.
Normies.
I don't know.
Could you imagine if that was it? Like, oh shit, we can't call it Outer Worlds. We'll call it the Outer Wilds Investigation Agency.
Yeah. I think that like Shao Kahn's ending is the most lame because it's a big nothing burger. Like nothing really happens, and I was like, eh.
I said it was same with Katana.
I was in prison. It's like I was in prison. I'm out now.
Yeah,
like, that's it.
Shao Kahn. I thought of a really good one for Shao Kahn. Okay, what if Shao Kahn had been like multiple times? I'm not gonna do the voice, even though it would sound way better in his voice. But he could be like, Sindel always brought up my father as a way to keep me contained and restricted, but she doesn't know him like I did. I know a man who made me strong no matter what it took, no matter what experiment, no matter what torture or challenges I had to complete. It was all in the name of strength, which means my father's ultimate wisdom he bestowed upon me is that strength is the only truth. And that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to get stronger, and then the whole world will know my truth, which is to pursue strength or something like that. So like, that's why war, that's why conquest, that's why I'm the only one fit to be the leader, because I'm the strongest, and that's what my father told me was the most important thing. Because his dad didn't let him just be the weak, intelligent
the wimpy
guy.
kid.
No,
yeah.
he fucked him to. He forced him. He forced him to be the strongest he could be. He fucked him. No, he forced him to be. Why'd you give me horns, Dad? No girl wants to go out with me. I'm so angry. Ah!
I've even got an idea for the way that ending could end. Well, the last shot is him standing over someone with his axe, like standing over some defeated. Umgadi or like just another Outworld soldier that's not one of his, and he's just like holding the axe, throws it aside, and then he's got the hammer.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It still doesn't make sense to me why he never has a hammer in this game. It's just like
Well,
Why?
that
It's his
shitposter
thing?
on
'Cause
the comment section told me why.
it's
It's
for the
because he's meant
sake
to be
of-
Steppenwolf.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Well, there's that. It's also, yeah, and it's like his father, and it's like, yeah, his ending just maybe more Steppenwolf. He's been banished from his home because his father thought he was weak, and he's like, oh yes, father, I will succeed this time, and he's like, do not fail me, Shao.
His dad's in the clouds, JoJo style, and his dad's just super fucking ripped.
Golden-
and he's like,
golden
"Go, my
clouds."
son. Pursue
Yeah.
strength, become their
But
strong."
funny enough,
and Shao
though-
Kahn becomes an Olympic powerlifter, and that's how he finds true happiness. It's just by going to the gym every
Aw,
day.
such a wholesome ending for Shao. Yeah, Shao
Wait,
and
I wanna say
Katana's
something.
endings were kind of similar in terms of just like we need to rally Outworld people, and Shao was
yeah.
like, yeah, they didn't listen to Katana because I'm more manly or I'm stronger or something like that, and Katana's like tried, but people aren't really listening to her, and she had to like prove herself more in the war or something like that. I don't know. It seems like it really was a nothing burger for both of them, in my opinion.
I love that Jake Gyllenhaal cameo on Katana's ending. What was that about?
I saw that. You posted that. That's really funny. I'll send the picture to you, dog. Give me a second.
I feel bad because I watched all of these endings in one sitting, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I forgot at least a handful of them because some of them.
I
were such
haven't opened up
nothing
here
burgers to
for me.
that I just forgot them.
Yeah, I haven't
but
opened up for me here, so that's why I can remember.
I want to make a shit post now. I really want to make a dumb shit post, or someone needs to make this shit post where it's that scene where Sindel and Shao Kahn are in private, and he goes, "Permission to speak freely," and she goes, "If you must," and he just pauses and goes, "I think you're hot," and she goes, "What?"
Wait, what?
What? It's like
The,
super awkward.
I mean, you did say freely. Actually, you know what? That's one positive I'll give these arcade endings. Some of these facial expressions drawn are like straight up just memes. The Lee May one, the reptile one, the one where like in Smokes where like
Yeah,
Quiet the Egg
man.
Smoke and Hanumi are looking at the kid. Like, what the heck is this kid doing? Like, whoa, yeah. I love those. Those are gonna be memes forever. They're great.
I want to
I
meme
love-
all of these.
no.
Me trying to explain to my parents why anime isn't lame, and it's like just like this katana.
Well, Johnny Cage has a really good one where it's like when he's like doing the presentation for Liu Kang. You could easily like I want Murdoch to turn that into a green screen. Like, what is Johnny presenting to Liu Kang now?
yeah, that's a good one. Somebody wanted me to add these as emojis, so I happen
Me when
to have
I drop
them.
the combo.
Me when I
Me-
drop the combo.
Me when NetherRealm changes the inputs again, and I can't play the character correctly.
Yeah, it's okay. No,
Lee May, it's like
Smoke is
it's like
the best.
me trying to figure out what face button is used in the ice ball this time, and it's like Lee May like
yeah. The actually, speaking of the Johnny Cage one, that is actually one I do like. It's not the biggest change in terms of like because he already said he was gonna do that at the end of MK1, but they do explain saying like he wants to sort of tell like the story and ease their way into explaining MK to the audience and to Earthrealm people. But the other thing I really liked about that is just all the people just getting together, like chatting and be like, hey, we're gonna be ready to film and have our little script. You see like Tanya chatting with Kenshi, it's like Melina being like, what the heck is this, and that kind of stuff.
And there's a ton of intros that reference the idea that Johnny's filming on location in Outworld
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Royal Palace, and Melina and Katana just like they're not having it. There's like why do we agree to this?
Bihan one was really funny.
Sindel
It'll
was
be
the
like,
most against
ready
it,
for
but
your
Katana actually
close up.
admitted it was good. Yeah,
Oh
sorry.
yeah, I mean Katana liking the movie was very wholesome, but there was one where it's like Bihan was like, Johnny is like ready for your close up because they're like filming. It will capture your failure. Bihan says, which I thought was funny. That is one thing I really like about this MK game, which I got some people in the comments are saying. It's just like there's so many like wholesome interactions with characters that you don't expect. They just have like wholesome interactions, like that ending in Johnny Cage. You see all the group of people just hanging out, and some intro dialogues. You just see characters like chatting and having a good time, and like that's one thing that's quite enjoyable about this one.
I do miss it because I've been going through all Johnny's intros for a video, and
Oh, nice.
going from M1K to MKX to MK11, it's like the MKX ones were so snappy and so sharp.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much bite to them. Like, I love some ones like Takeda and Katana. I don't consider you my enemy.
I don't consider you at
at
all.
Like,
Ouch.
whoa, bro got
what do you call it?
destroyed.
Raiden. What do you call it? I'm starting to. I can't stand you anymore, Katana. Then lay down. Or something like that. The
That's why.
Okay, I want to say. Let me say
Cassie
something
Cage's
about
the
MKX.
best. Yeah.
Exactly. To me, when people say, "What's your favorite version of Cassie Cage?" I'm like, I think maybe the story mode. I think maybe 11 inches out a bit of like MKX Cassie Cage. But my favorite Cassie Cage is intro dialogue MKX Cassie Cage. She was snappy. She was hilarious. On the point. It was great. Her MKX style. I wish that was the version of Cassie we got in the story mode. In story mode, she's just like this humble, like, I gotta do my best, dad. I gotta do my best, mom. And by MKX, she just like, damn, her burns were sick as hell in her intros in MKX, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's true. I like when she goes Kung Lao Light, and it really pisses them off. Yeah, that's great.
Don't you mean Liu Kang Light?
Or Liu Kang Light. Yeah, my
Yeah,
bad.
to
Liu
Kung
Kang
Lao.
Light.
Yeah.
Fucking
The
awesome.
There's that of one of the intros where it's like Sub-Zero and Joker calls him like Grandmaster Blueberry, and he's like, only Johnny Cage may call me that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's
So-
like, oh, he's warming up to Johnny. I
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
so-
I wish there was at least one line of dialogue where Johnny Cage is talking to one of the big, imposing characters, preferably a villain, where he's like, "Get ready for your close-up," and they go, "Camera shy." It's like actually hard. Like, no, please, not my fear of public speaking.
Just like dumb non-canon gag intros.
Yeah.
Well, and that is the one weakness of the MK1 intros is like none of them. I mean, a lot of them aren't even like fighting words. Even in MKX when they were joking, it was still like,
they
we're
were
sparring or something. A lot
Yeah.
of ones in MK1 like make no sense for a fight to happen after. Like, you think
They're
my
so
mask
wholesome.
is cool, Johnny? I do. Just hits him.
Yeah.
Why'd he punch him? It doesn't make any sense.
Oh,
Or, like, Lee May and
Ashura
Johnny-
to
Lee May and,
Kitana.
Oh yeah.
My Chris cannot sense any evil in you. Oh, thank you very much. yeah.
Bam!
Or were the characters just talking about something completely random, like Ash was like, your Hollywood is full of evil. It's like, you don't need Joe Chris to tell that, and then they just beat the shit out of each
Baraka
other.
and Reptar are like, let's chase down Shang Tsung together.
Yes, friend.
Yeah.
Let us do that.
Yeah,
Walks with him
basically.
and goes, I didn't. It's like, I used to hate you, but Liu Kang told me all the horrible things they did to you in Hollywood. Wait, what'd he tell you?
Oh, really? I did hear that one. That sounds funny.
I made that one up, but that would be a good one.
Oh, okay. In terms of arcade endings else that I liked, I actually did kind of like the Kenji Jax one, specifically because it's really different. It feels like, setting up something. It also, they're setting up and explaining, like, where has Jax been this whole time, and possibly Sonya, who knows. I call it the FBI, but I forgot they're called the Outworld investigation.
Well, it is with the FBI. It's just that they form the OIA.
Which
I
makes this
see.
joke even funnier.
And you-
So imagine if he had been like, I didn't think that Johnny Cage's movie was real until Shang Tsung showed up, and then Jax, being an FBI agent, immediately deported him. Because Shang Tsung had no
Yup.
right being in Earthrealm.
You also saw the the collector in the background too. So it was like, okay,
Yeah.
interesting. What's up with that? Or maybe it's just a random Naknada. Who knows?
Nakanada.
And of course, my favorite would be the reptile one. Like, how can I not? I think
Bitch.
the funny thing about, did you just say bitch?
No.
Okay. The funny thing is also, it's just
Bitch.
like, you see all. Did you just say bitch?
No.
Okay. You see all these like Zaterans like wearing different like outfits, which I find to be very like
Yeah, they're
Cute.
cute. They're all dressed up.
yeah, it's like
that-
apparently
which means that like going around all lizard naked is not a normal thing.
Yeah.
So Reptile is technically like streaking and flashing us every time he changes.
basically
Oh,
yeah.
no. It's
I
the
mean,
Robot
technically
Chicken
they just wear a
sketch all
cloth.
over again.
It's like I was accepted by my people finally. And then I changed back and they said, why are you naked, you freak?
Wear
and
a
they
cloth,
kicked me out
dude.
again.
Yeah, blame
one guy's
NRS for
naked.
not giving them skins.
That one's naked.
Dude,
That
put
one's
your
a tan.
pants on.
You don't know, maybe they have pants. You don't know.
I'd
would be
love that
funny.
if
He's not
he
wearing
showed
pants, he's
up.
wearing shirts.
I wanted to show up in lizard form where he's just wearing pants. Like, it's just like, that's all he's wearing.
It's like a werewolf
yeah.
basically, because don't the classic werewolves
Yeah.
just wear like the broken up jean pants? Yeah, basically.
Usually, just because it's like, well, you have to cover that. You can't just have
Yeah.
a big furry penis.
Gotta
on
cover it
the
up.
film.
Gotta cover it up.
Well,
Even when they're ripped off, you don't see it there
It's
anyways.
like when somebody made that joke about Sonic the Hedgehog where they're like, I don't like how this one character wears a dress because it implies that now Sonic has just been naked this whole time. And I
Oh
don't
yeah,
like that.
basically yeah. All the lady
Wearing
characters.
shoes made sense because like their feet get hurt. They run super fast. Like I get it. But like him and the gloves also, it's just a rule back then to have to wear gloves for some reason. But
Yeah. What?
Well, that's all. That's always been the case for like cartoon characters like Bugs and Mickey.
Yes.
It's just a weird thing. That's just always been the case.
People
For
don't
sure.
believe this, but there used to actually be a rule before like newer Disney where they were not allowed to take the gloves off. Not even as a
Interesting.
gag. It was against the rules to ever show what their real hands looked like. Even in the Goofy movie, there's a reference to this. It might be the second one. It could be the first one, though. I can't recall. Where the hipster guy, the stoner, he goes like,
yeah.
"Do you ever wonder why we wear gloves?" And he peeks under it, but he doesn't take it off. So they're referencing, like, why the hell do we wear these and what's under it, but they can't show you. So that's really funny. It's a
Interesting.
good tongue-in-cheek joke.
Yeah. The also Reptile's ending kind of establishes what like he's going through next. Gonna be like an emissary for Outworld. He's gonna hang out with the Lee May, Tanya group, and Melina. So that's kind of cool to hopefully get to see more of that. And also, they also help address something that we've been talking about before. It's like, okay, yeah, Reptile gets like banished, but then like, what's up with Chameleon then? Isn't she also like a Zaterran and stuff like that? And lo
Probably
and
not.
behold, they answer that in this arcade ending. So I'm like, oh,
they do.
okay, that's nice. Well, wait, did you not? In the arcade ending, Reptile was like, it turns out there's actually more like my kind that can shapeshift, but some high society is basically just banishing them. So that's
I get
how
that,
they
but that doesn't state anything about Chameleon, though, unfortunately. It
Oh.
could imply it, but...
okay, well, there's
It's-
there's an intro dialogue between Tanya and Reptile where
Oh.
Reptile is like, you have Zaterrans in the Ungadi? Yeah, have you met Chameleon? Like, she says that.
Oh, really?
in the
There
intro-
you go, then. There you go.
Yes, so that
Well,
means
that's
Chameleon
weird
is a...
because Chameleon doesn't even look human. She looks like a mannequin. Like, just
It's
a-
like-
I have to
like-
reference the original, you know.
It's funny because like you have to think about reptiles. Like that means that he's not a genetic freak. He's a racial minority.
Exactly. Yes, this is a closeted situation then, more or
a
less.
werewolf.
So it's probably going to be something like Hotaru's like yes, you Zaterrans also engage in ethnic cleansing and suppression of minority groups. Please join me in my crusade, and it's going to be the most cringe bullshit
Oh.
you've ever seen in your life.
You know what? More more things for Reptile to do. Hell yeah. The
Also, I just had a thought. So Chameleon, because all the cameos have 6 colors. So Chameleon by default has yellow. I'm sure that she'll also get
Green.
the greenish one that she's shown within her render. We know what people just didn't realize she changed color because their only exposure to her is that one picture from Armageddon.
yeah, they don't know what she actually
So
does.
She'll have that color scheme, and she will have a grey one as a nod to MK Trilogy.
Yeah.
And then the others could just be Katana, Melina, Scarlet colors, or just some stupid bullshit they made up like pink and orange together, and it looked hideous.
Yeah, there's a lot of really ugly color palettes, but yeah.
One of the weirdest
The-
ones is the new Deadly Alliance one. It's got a really cool skin, but there's randomly blue on it. And I'm like, ooh.
Which one?
That looks
You mean
weird.
the Scorpion?
The Deadly Alliance
Or-
Scorpion has a red and yellow one with like a different shade of red. It looks pretty good. Then there's randomly blue around his neck and like tiny blue ribbons on
Oh.
his shoes. And I'm like, that color scheme works in some areas, but it's just like Scorpion should never be wearing like a vibrant blue. Just makes no sense.
I do like his the black and like gold outline one though.
Everyone likes
the
that
inverse.
one.
It looks good. Yeah, it looks pretty good.
My favorite
Um,
is the red and yellow one. That's like just all analogous color scheme, but you gotta do the classic. You gotta do the classic. You gotta wear his.
Of
regular
course, yeah. My brother actually like messaged me being like, okay, what if Chameleon, just to make her more interesting, actually has a different lizard form, but she turns into a chameleon.
Bloody
Like a
Roar
big old
3.
chameleon. Woo! Yeah, because like currently all the Zaterrans
Busuzima.
look exactly the same, which I'm a little disappointed in. But whatever.
Oh, Busuzima.
So that could be an interesting way to differentiate him with Reptile.
You think I'm beautiful? Eyes looking in different directions. She's a freaking chameleon.
I mean, Asha fell in love with that, so who knows?
Oh no! I'm just imagining like he's on business meeting with he's accompanying Katana or Melina, and he's meeting with Tanya, and then Chameleon's just there in the background. A fly goes past. She like gets it with the tongue like Reptile does, and he's like, and he got like hearts in his eyes, and he's like, oh.
We get the Shrek 2 opening, but it's like them running hand in hand on the beach and stuff with like pitchforks being thrown behind them. I kind of want, now that they've confirmed that she's the Terran, which means she also has the big lizard form, which she did not even have that
True.
in Armageddon.
True.
I hope that
No.
for one of her cameo abilities, I hope they reference the alligator roll in Deadly Alliance, like the Blanca ball on the floor that Reptile had
Oh.
in Deadly Alliance, but give it to her, because that'd be kind of cool.
Oh. That'd be
Well,
kinda
that
interesting.
would work because Melina kind of has that.
Yeah.
Ah.
So it kind of works. It could work. So if you add her tail to it,
Yeah.
add her tail to it, it works as as a double reference.
That would be interesting. She always goes into the lizard form, but she still copies their move, kind of like Shujinko. That'd be super interesting.
Not necessarily full lizard form, like part lizard to augment it. So when she's spinning, she has like the tail and spines to make it more effective. And then with something else, she could like maybe when she's doing something with a certain weapon, she has like extra reach or more strength with her lizard arms.
Yeah, because that is a lot of Reptile's moves. It's just only partially his body transforms into instead of like wholeheartedly. Yeah.
So it's a way of having a copy those characters, but in a unique Zaterran way, in a way that like is consistent with Reptile stuff, and she's like using those abilities to augment these abilities she's copied from other people.
Damn,
Yes.
I now want that meme now. Hello, Reptile from Outworld, from Zaterra. Hello, Chameleon from Umgadi. Lizard.
Lizard. Yeah.
Like, actually, the lizard itself is clip art. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
No, and it's the exact same lizard picture, but like one's got a little bow on the side of the head.
Oh, yeah.
A little pink bow.
Just that'd be such an easy.
A little pink bow, a little blush on her cheeks, and like really garish red lipstick.
I'm gonna do that tomorrow then.
like that.
I'm gonna make that a meme.
It looks like Reptile in drag.
Oh no! Now it's that freaking meme of the little lizard, that lizard that barely licks the guy. It does a "Did you enjoy that?" from the anime. Like, did you enjoy that? But it's in Japanese. But they give them the little blushy cheeks and the little ooh eyes on the real lizard, and the guy just like goes, "Oh Jesus."
Well, that's our arcade mode discussion, I suppose.
Yes.
It's definitely a more interesting approach this time, considering, like I said, like we don't have much context as to like what happens after the story mode. So this actually helps out a lot. Like helps up like fill up the gaps into the potential to see what happens with this. Honestly, despite the fact that this is what's going on, I don't think it's gonna affect too much as to Titan Havoc gonna be like probably the next story mode expansion shenanigans. So.
He'll be in one chapter.
I think
and
the
then die.
endings overall. are serviceable for the most part. I don't think there are none that really stand out as particularly bad,
Exactly,
like Jax's
yeah.
from last time or certain other ones. But they're also none that really stand out as particularly good, because I guess they were like, we don't want to go too crazy with it just in case we don't want to follow that.
Exactly,
plot point,
that's how I
'cause
feel
that
too,
That is a
yeah.
problem with NetherRealm. But also, and it's like they are restrained in what they can do, it seems. So you don't see any like weird, crazy shit that's like, oh, that was a really memorable ending. It's just like
Really
they're
simple.
fine.
Yeah, like easy
Yeah.
to set up,
So-
easy
so-
to continue on.
it's a bit of a double-edged sword, but I suppose in the grand scheme of things, it's for the best, because then we don't have any absolute. I mean, so again, some of them are bad. Like Garrus's is pointless, but like that's really the worst you get is pointless rather than garish and offensive.
Garrus is basically just like, okay, how are we gonna write him out of the story now? Oh, he's too busy. Yeah, he's being a god. He's being a timekeeper. Just
Yeah.
Bye, Garrus. It was fun
Like-
having you in this game.
If I was going to pick out 3 characters in this roster who are not going to come back next time, Garrus would probably be the first one.
Natara.
I'd say him, Rain, and
Natara.
yeah, I could see them replacing Natara with just like another
I
vampire.
don't think Tanya's gonna return.
or-
It's really gonna be specific, like these
No,
characters.
you know what? I reckon they'll replace Natara with Scarlet, and Scarlet will be a vampire this time.
I was gonna be nicer. I was gonna say they're gonna replace Natara with like Serena.
Oh,
Sure, but I mean, in terms of role in the story, like as like the representative
Oh,
of Eternus, they'll
fuck.
probably be Scarlet.
Okay. No, it would. They just need to find another
Or,
jobber.
I mean, something like, I'd be like, Natara will create Scarlet, and Scarlet will be like, ah, yes, mother, I will do as you please. Also, can we fuck later? That would be nice. That would be swell. Just to be consistent with her character.
Oh,
from last time, where she
haha! I
wants to-
get it. Very funny.
So
No.
the reason I
It
said
really,
what the fuck
literally
was not because
any.
of you, by the way.
So one of the customization items, instead of being like the seed of Shao Kahn, is called like the ovaries of Natara.
Oh my gosh. Literally any jobber can replace Natara because that's literally the only thing that she served in entire story mode.
Yeah.
They don't need to bring back Viternus. They just be like, Viternus is off breeding 1,000 people doing their own thing. Who cares?
Fuck you! I want to see it. You pissed me off with that line. I want to see it.
Bum bum.
I was
Well,
trying to
guys.
make that meme I was talking about, and that's why I said what the fuck randomly, because I was just googling chameleon PNG, and then I was like, oh well, I don't want to get that one like zoologist in the comments being like, that's actually a boy chameleon that you posted a picture of. So I typed girl chameleon, and I got something expected, which was like just like a ooh cutesy drawing of a chameleon, but then immediately after was like waifu and like humanoid like chameleon fan art, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just looking for a lady chameleon. Like, and I got
wait. so you got? Was it like a safe picture or was it like blurred? Because usually
no,
Google
it was
now.
safe, but it was like her in like a Hawaiian like bikini outfit, and I'm like, why is Lizard Girl in
Wait.
bikini outfit?
Oh, okay, so it's
What do you want me to send it to you or something? You freaking pervert!
No, I'm
You
just
wanna see it?
understanding this.
Huh?
Is this
Of
like
course he does, he's
MK?
a scaling.
Don't you? No, I'm specifically wondering if it's like MK Chameleon, like a chameleon, like anthro version or something like that.
It was a human-esque chameleon, yeah, like Lizard Girl.
Okay, got you. You don't need to send it. Don't send
But
it.
she
I
was
don't want to see
doing
it.
this.
Don't want to see it.
She was like, yeah, she was doing this
Genuinely
pose.
don't want to see it. Okay, I'm just curious.
Yes, you do.
That's all. Don't send it. No. How do we end this?
I'll draw
episode?
you a picture, like one of my French girls.
You don't need to go to Photoshop and draw me a picture. What was it? Any other topics we should mention? We are over 3 hours now currently.
Yeah, it's true. Have fun.
I actually really want to get this video out like Sunday, cause it's current topic and stuff. I see.
Well,
I see.
I'm
Snake.
pretty much done, honestly. I'm just googling chameleon pictures now at this point. I found it.
Interesting. Yeah, that was a great time. I'm still gonna title this video "Arcade Ending Doesn't Suck" because we were discussing it positively. We're not always negative on this podcast. We've got the positive shenanigans.
Here's a title. The title is Arcade Endings Don't Suck, but Invasion Does.
That's a little actually, maybe I should title this video "Invasion Mode Sucks" actually, because people will agree with that one. I'm gonna do that. Sorry, as much as I want to put arcade modes like are good, people love negativity more. So I'm gonna go with the invasion
I
mode.
know it's part of the brand, but I would much prefer the episode be called Invasion Mode is Poo and Gay.
Invasion mode is
that's
what?
More poo and gay, because I feel like that's a lot more accurate than it sucks. It conveys more of
Poo
the
and
issues
gay?
we struggle with. Yes.
Why?
You can't use gay in a negative regard, though.
Yes,
That's
you can.
mean.
You can't stop me. You can't
I'm the
stop
person
me.
who's editing and uploading the videos.
I take issue.
Yeah,
I take issue
you
on
can be
two
our fall
fronts.
guy.
I take issue on two fronts because not only is that mean, but also the word "gay" literally means happy. So your grammar's not even correct, and that's what I also
Yeah,
take issue
Snake.
with.
You know what?
How dare
That's
you?
true. I'm not happy playing Invasions.
Yes.
Oh, poo and gay. I sort of get.
Morsel Kombat.
Mortal
1,
Kombat Invasion is not gay.
yeah.
Where are we going with this title? By the way, what is this abomination you sent, dog? I'm
That was
not
an
having it.
old picture. This was done
I've
like
just-
day one after Reptile got revealed, and my
Yeah,
immediate
yeah.
response was no, and I hate you.
It's like you want to fix Reptile. There's many ways you can. There's many arts I've seen, but it's like that ain't it, Chief. Sorry.
It looks like Godzilla's son mixed with a Battletoad.
Yeah, or a Spyro villain.
That eye is just not doing it for me. Just
So
no.
cartoony.
The eye is not an issue with the original
Getting
design.
rid of
in my
the hair
opinion.
lip was nice. A lot of people don't like the hair lip. I think it's creepy and reptilian, but
I could, yeah. It's unique. It's ugly, but it's unique for him. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw Reptile from like a very far angle, I always feel like he's about to give you like a kissy lips from a very far angle.
Can I just ask? Are we still going?
We're gonna have to end it. We're trying to end it in a way. I don't know. We gotta end it in a funny way.
Just
Full
stop it.
Sopranos.
Just cut in the mid sentence. Just